and he ran in. And I was like, as he just ran past me.
Praise a barbarian.
Yeah.
No time for heals.
That's my small job.
Someone else's problem.
Unhealed.
Just raging.
I can kill you.
She's like running past, raging. He was like, someone else will save you.
It's like, "Wah!" runs past and just pulls out the glass bottle. You know when you like smash a beer bottle on a table, just does that over James's head. The cuts make it infuse quicker. It would be interesting to like smash his potions on himself instead of drinking them.
Oh.
This is me saying something.
Very good, very nice. Very good, very nice.
There you go.
Very good, very nice.
Why is it echoing so much?
It sounds playing through the mic.
Yeah, no. I understood as soon as you went like that.
You did like a oh.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
No, I'm just naturally more unlucky. I fell in the time, I had to do it completely.
I forgot to emote.
Oh, wrong one, sorry. Right.
Right, well the stream is currently thrilled.
The stream is.
Yes, let's go.
Okay. I'm a bit stumped today, guys. Okay, so in the last session we had a large battle which you were fiercely able to defend and push against the encroaching horde. As part of that, you were able to defeat the Captain Grassenex, who managed to penetrate through the force field of Kulen Kress, and in doing so was able to, well, just shortly before that was able to kill Vinar. Unfortunately, she's now gone. During the battle, we witnessed Kulen Kress going toe to toe with some big old beasties, and along with Heinrich and the others all doing bits and bobs. Poirus fighting Beatrice and Gluxus in the town. It ended with Gesh transforming into a young black dragon and using Dorwin's help to destroy Orenthor's gem, in which he emerged a beautiful spiritual dragon and penetrated Khazal most thoroughly. And broke his fucking gem, so he's a mate now, which is cool. Hopefully.
I didn't kill him.
Yeah, I was there like, are you sure you don't want to do the other dragon?
Just throws away the rest of the story.
Yeah, and after the battle was wrapped up, they were able to kind of fight back the remainder of the horde, probably with you guys helping out a bit. Poirus in the excitement gave Gess an big old smooch. Woo! Which is sweet. And yeah, other than that,
That was the quest, like we've done.
Yeah,
Just to get laid.
Khazal's curse.
That's why we leveled up.
Yeah, you'll instantly go to level 20. Yeah, so with that, it's a new day where there's the town is coming together to celebrate the success. There's initially during the day people spending their hours cleaning up, mages using transmutation spells to repair what
I
they
wonder
can.
if there are poppies growing on the fields of battle.
Which immediately.
Magical poppies.
Can you take down a smidge? If people are alright with that. There's a lot of cleanup going on in the battle. Piles of corpses getting incinerated, the remainders of the trebuchets being dismantled for parts.
Are we building the silver sword?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment the silver sword's just kind of being ignored because it's been so destroyed. It's more just initially getting the first sort of bits of damage up. But yeah, you do find that...
Has there been a temporary tavern erected.
Well, you see that Idex's gold lock has actually just decided to remain fast in the lidless tavern, and for the time being, it's just serving the rest of her stocks up to people to try and earn money where she can now that the battle's probably over. So people are both in celebration and out of generosity towards Idex, indulging in the finer drinks.
Who's Idex? Sorry?
The barmaid.
Oh, okay. Sorry, of course.
The singing bold lady.
The dwarven one with the beard.
They've got no beard.
I thought she had a beard.
No, she just got stubble.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so with that, why don't you all tell me a little bit about what each of you are doing individually? We'll start with Pilar.
I mean, Plum will probably just be kind of helping, really, in the thick of it, trying to rebuild and help out any kind of displaced people. Are people coming back into the town?
So probably not yet.
Okay.
I imagine some high priority individuals, sort of VIPs, might be getting teleported back and that kind of thing, but no common rabble that you would probably prefer to tend to.
Mogs and all?
I don't know what's going on with Mogs and all at the moment. And by that I mean you guys don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
At the moment he's presumed safe in Eastbourne. It's the last you learned from him.
Yeah, I'll basically just have
Nice,
to
yeah. Maybe healing wounded soldiers and whatnot. Dorwin, what are you up to?
After running around some of the corpses of the mages and peeking in their robes. For trinkets and goodies.
Yes.
I know what you mean.
I will be helping people clean shit up with my prestidigitation and trying to help, not very strong, but help fix walls and shit. Unearth bits that have been trampled.
I'm sure Enoch's helping out.
Absolutely, in his own special way.
He's drank all of the supplies at the bartender.
Sang
That is-
songs of his
That
great-
is
great
that
band.
is helping out.
He bought all of it and then is selling it on a way marked up price.
And he's singing songs of his own greatness in the battle when he hid in a tree.
Anyway, funnily, mate, that bit doesn't come into it.
Surprise.
So Enoch, in the immediate aftermath of the battle, because Enoch felled Grassanex, he would have been quite interested in, just scuttling on over to Grassanex's body.
Oh yeah.
And seeing what was on Grassanex in the heat of the battle was obviously, probably not the most important thing, but
He still went for it.
yeah, 100%.
Can I also say that Gesh
fucking-
would have absolutely have done that too? Once, because he was the one to obviously deliver the blow to kill Grassanex. It would have been more of a confirmation of his death to try and make sure that he was actually dead. Maybe I'll smell him.
Smells pretty dead.
Okay, sorry, go on.
But so after that, I think he might just finished off with the battle, and then now kind of as the rebuild is happening, he would be probably in the tavern, singing or regaling some of the more heroic feats that he saw and obviously sometimes was a part of.
Did you take Tide's loot?
I did.
You did.
Yeah,
So you used it.
I've got Tide's loot.
That's cool.
So yeah, just keeping morale up for those that have lost loved ones and comrades in what's the remnant of the Silver Sword.
Nice.
Can I just say, like, as an aside, imagine actually being part of something like this in real life, where you would say, like, lose your wife or something, but you would win the battle to protect your town. Like, imagine the combination of emotions and just be fucking.
And then Enoch's just singing about how great the battle was. Oh no.
Not about how great it was, just some of the heroic deeds that were, there's...
Of him hiding up a tree whilst...
embellishing Enoch's part as well, of course, somewhat.
Enoch was the one that felled Grassanex. That might feature quite heavily in most of the songs, but there are also tales of loss and... what did you do? There are also tales of...
Are you charismatic?
Yeah.
Oh, you are?
Pretty charismatic.
Yeah, of course you have to be. Because you're a fucking blagger.
15. Decent. I got ties loot, which is magical. So I'm fucking slamming.
Draw people.
Not that I could know what I'm doing, but...
magical? Or was the heart that was magical?
The loot is magical, but only for bards.
Yeah, I can't use it. But, it has some,
Sure. You feel confident.
I feel...
For this moment.
It's like...
Absolutely.
Because it's like...
It's like
a companion of
because
yours as
because
well.
I believe...
Khaled playing Bob Marley's guitar.
Yeah, but because I believe it is magical.
Go on.
Because I believe it's magical, it's giving me a lot of confidence in my own abilities that I've got.
And also, Enoch was very close to Tide.
Yeah.
So,
And in these moments, you are a bard.
Yeah. There are tales of loss and tales of heroism in the darkest odds. When the walls were breached and the people of Kulen Kress ran to defend them. Generally trying to
nice.
Regale some of the experiences of the battle.
Nice.
And how about Gesh?
So I'm assuming we would say we're on the following day now, would we? Or with the
days following, I think.
So yeah.
Just.
Okay, so
I mean,
so
there was. Yeah.
So we were sort of saying that the battle came to an end in the afternoon or something. I don't know what. Well, anyway. you'll get it.
Time. The battle.
Okay, so on the day of the battle sort of coming to an end, I will have confirmed the death of Grassanex, but then also then sort of tried to meet with the captains and maybe like the majors of the Eastbourne military and just go through and sort of have a debrief as to how things went and try and take an account of how many soldiers have returned and then maybe spend some time in the fields to try and see if there are any wounded that need tending to and maybe assist with healing any soldiers and casting some magic on them in the process. Yes. But then as the sun goes down and there isn't much more that can be done under under the daylight that day, maybe Porus and I will take a trip back to Crifton Academy and have a romantic candlelit evening together. On the following day, waking up and coming back out and having a wash and trying to make myself more presentable again after the filth that I got up to the evening before, let alone the battle. Then going out, and I will have made a point of, as soon as walking out of the Crifton Academy, mounting Dragos and flying over to Luxus's body on top of this building that he's demolished, and because obviously his corpse is just strewn across this like farmhouse thing, and maybe try and make an attempt to extract maybe something of some use, maybe in a potion making sense, like try and get some saliva and shit, take some teeth, or try and dislodge a couple of scales to maybe make into some armor or something at some point. But yeah, just like I'm particularly drawn to this white dragon, and the aesthetic is shining in my eyes.
I want to paint you in fucking white power armor.
Yeah, this dragon with like a...
That's your immediate thought. You're like, I can paint something more.
Yeah, you see as you look at Beatrice, you see this kind of enormous white figure with these huge.
So I
scales.
thought Luxus was the white one.
Sorry, yeah, I meant Luxus. And then you kind of see in contrast to the very bright pale white scales around his mouth, there's this kind of pretty jarring, slightly iridescent red blood that's kind of like trickled down at the side of his mouth, which is in quite a stark contrast with as his jaw's completely broken in half. And yeah, his piercing blue eyes.
Is there any remnants of damage from the bomb as well on his
jaw.
face? Yeah. Is it
Oh,
burnt in any particular way or anything like that?
Oh no, it mostly came from within. So you see like charred remains like around his like gums and on his outer lips.
So sick.
Yeah. And
Has his belly actually like blown open?
No,
so it's like
detonated in his mouth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's a shame.
You can go all snack.
Yeah, no. Imagine how cool it would look if the fucking like if it just had this fucking abdomen just fucking
What, like Alien
blown
versus
out?
Predator?
Yeah, like
just
fucking blown out.
explode.
Yeah, but
He was just
got
lying.
50 hit points left.
Oh shit!
Yeah, fine, but you're saying like he would survive getting his like brain exploded?
Well, his brain didn't explode.
No,
Just warmed up.
just warmed
Just
his
warmed up.
jaw.
Just warmed up.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'll say that when you.
But yeah, sorry. Also, alongside inspecting Grassanex's corpse and all the other mages and stuff, mate. Yeah, the generals and the captains and stuff, like, fucking would have gone rifling through all their shit too.
And can I just say as well,
All of us will have done.
I just got a spell for leveling up, but I'm going to say I found it on a mage in his book and I decided to transcribe it. Just for so it's cool.
Yeah. Nice. I like that. Yeah. So looking at the body of Grassanex, I'll just say, I'm sure one of you went over and did it, but I'll just advertise it to everyone. You came across 1,700. A pouch containing 1,700 platinum pieces, and a further 10,000 gold pieces kind of dispersed into other pouches.
Why did you take so much money to battle?
There is
To
a good
pay the
reason
army.
for it. Yeah.
But why just leave it at your tent?
Why are you complaining?
Just find it funny that you took a bank swing.
He's fucking loaded.
Why would
Because
you
I know
leave,
what I'm
like-
going to need in the afterlife.
That's really chump change for him.
Yeah,
Just by
true.
spending cash.
Yeah, that's the point.
Dragons have gold.
So it's 340 each for the plat.
And also, he doesn't know if he's gonna get, captured or something. He has to pay his own ransom or something.
Why would you just take it? He's captured.
Because that's against the Geneva Convention.
And what did you say? 10,000?
2,000 gold each.
2,000 each. Yeah, baby.
Holy shit.
He also.
How much platinum,
340 each.
Okay. How do I turn off?
Gold weight.
Yeah.
It might be a builder, another star when you change your options. It says like.
Maybe
It
you
is.
can't, and you're gonna have to get some gems, or otherwise give your gold to me.
Could you imagine Enoch actually giving Gash some of his gold?
It's never gonna happen. He'd rather drag
rather
it
go, yeah.
along the floor and take like a week to move like 200 meters or something. Like,
I'll take the full encumbrance because I don't trust the fucking banks. You know how easy it is to get in them? He also had a medallion in the shape of a dragon horn, which is inlaid with
Orculcum. I like that one better.
Inlaid with jizz. It's Orichacalcum. Auricalcum.
Fresh menthol
There's a C in
mojito.
there.
Right.
Auricalcum.
Oh, it's straight up. Yeah, it's CUM at the end.
Orichalcum.
Orichalcum.
Oh yeah, CH is.
Which powder?
Yeah.
I crushed it up and put it in my pasta.
Talc in your pasta.
No. Do you not see that thing? There was that guy who he spunk loads and he dried it up and he crushed it up and he put it in a meal and he served it to all of his friends.
Yeah, that was me.
Gross.
Funny like.
Where did you find that video?
He also had with him a potion of superior healing.
So sorry, do we know what this this necklace of jizz does?
No, it's non-magical.
Oh, it just looks. It's got like a big old dragon tooth on it.
A
Did you
dragon
say?
horn.
A dragon horn.
Yeah.
But it's a medallion. It's a medallion on it, not an actual one.
Maybe I'll make a real dragon horn medallion. Like
Okay.
Fucking jizz on it.
Dragging it.
Yeah, hanging off my neck.
Yeah, so as well, somebody make a list of this and you can divvy it up how you want. A potion of superior healing. He also had a potion of gaseous form. And
nice one.
an elixir of health.
What's the difference between an elixir and a potion of max health?
It's called a potion of healing and an elixir of health.
Right.
It provides you with it like deletes conditions basically.
Ah, okay, got it.
And he also had a ring of mind blank.
Of mind blank.
Mm.
Okay. What is?
So mind blank is a spell that basically makes you immune to any ability to access your mind, basically.
Elixir could have done with that.
Yeah, it would have sorted you right out.
Really?
Yeah.
Savage.
But they probably would have just tortured you physically instead, I guess.
Oh, because it made it dumb.
No, he was already done.
Oh?
No, it's just most of his torture was psychological.
Oh, that thing. Okay.
Nice. Okay, so that's what you
24
get.
hours. Does it have like a certain amount of uses or is it just consistent?
So you can use once you've used it, it can't be used again for a week.
A week.
Okay, but it lasts 24 hours. Okay.
Nice.
Holy shit.
Is that it?
Everything
pretty
on this
fucking
guy.
lit.
I might have a look in the book and see if there's any like random, cool, stupid things that we find in amongst the wreckage and things. 'Cause this is a great little section and stuff like that.
Who wants what? Who wants the mind blank?
I mean, it's everyone.
Who's most appropriately going to need it though? I wonder if it's going to be something. It's going to be something that.
Would it affect stuff that it could affect like concentration? Would that like help protect from concentration saving throws?
So-
immune to psychic damage, any effect that would sense its emotions or read its thoughts, divination spells or charmed. The spell foils wish spells and effects of similar power used to affect the target's mind or to gain information about the target.
It's like the ultimate mental fuck you to any crime.
So they just can't do anything to your brain basically. But they're gonna paralyze you and that stuff. They just can't like charm you.
Well, it says it stops paralysis.
No, it can't, because that's like a physical thing.
Oh right.
Any mental condition. Or divination.
I don't mind.
It is also.
Oh, sorry. It's the elixir of health that can remove
Yeah.
paralysis. Sorry, that's what.
And it does also, so it does specify a creature you can touch. So when you're wearing the ring, you'd be able to like put it onto somebody else if
okay.
need be. So it's more of a communal thing, if, in that regard. Roll for it.
Yeah.
Out of 6
Yeah.
of you, so 1, 2, oh sorry, five of you. 1, 2, Cora. Well, I'll do you 4 then.
Are
Cora's
you okay?
5. Yeah. I don't think slow day, honestly. It's for Fergus.
Nice.
/ Dorwin. And then I'll just go through some random things that you might have found as you've been like doing bits and bobs.
Who wants the potion of gaseous form, by the way?
What does that
What
do?
was it?
It turns you into gas for a bit, and you can sneak through any crack.
You go fucking
It's not
invisible,
airtight.
kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I
You can
I
go
mean,
invisible.
It would just look
I can now
fucking
go
dope.
Shall I have it then? Or
Yeah.
Well, I mean, invisible doesn't quite cover that.
no, I know, but it's better than being
Wouldn't
Gesh.
we more?
I
like-
didn't
It's
even
still
realise
visible.
you could buy. How much does like that cost to buy.
What potion gaseous form?
Yeah.
James is our sneaky person, right? So if we're ever going to need to go in sneakily, we're probably going to send him. So maybe he takes it and he can like get through locked doors and shit.
Ooh.
You just know he's going to use it to rob an innocent guy.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, so
It's
a single-use thing. But then, it might make sense for me to have it because I would be taking point with stuff quite a lot.
Yeah.
So,
It allows you to fly pretty quickly, I think.
Can you get hurt while you're in gas form?
Probably by certain things, but not most things.
Not by like physical shit.
No, I don't think so.
That makes sense.
I mean, Fergie's reading at the moment, so should be able to confirm. Here's my little folder.
I wonder what. Probably me or you should have that. I guess.
You can get damaged, but you are resistant to non-magical damage, and you get advantage on strength, dex, and con saving throws.
Oh, so it's not actually that good.
Well, good.
It's still good. It's good to have.
But it's not really meant to be like a... Because you can't do anything while you're in gas, so it's not meant to be like a battle thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's meant to be like a utility,
Slip
you get
your way
into
through
like a
shit.
chest or something where there's a little crack.
I drink my potion. I go inside a chest and I stay there.
Someone happens to be in this, my farts.
I go into the chest and then turn back into a guy, and I'm stuck in a chest because I can't open it. That's how Gesh dies.
Someone locked me in the chest.
Do
Go
you want
into-
to take that then?
Yeah. Okay. No, you have it.
You sure?
Yeah, you have it. I got some pretty cool shit. So.
I'm just going to forget about it.
I've got some stuff in homebrew, so I can... Actually, you just add a custom item.
Sure.
A potion like that would probably cost about $8 grand. Oh no, 6.5 grand, 7 grand.
Shall I have the elixir of health then?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there anything else to give Cora and
Potion of superior healing.
Do you want that?
Uh,
It makes sense for you to have something like that.
yeah, sure.
Have you got some
Can
health?
I
I
take
got
the
some help.
medallion?
You've already got some health.
Enoch's got something to do, an idea with the medallion. So Enoch can have the medallion.
Can he?
Well, he went.
Decision to make.
Yeah,
Maybe I got
superior healing then.
Oh, I mean, just because we don't know if it
What's
does
the plan?
anything. Oh, I've just got something funny to do with Gash. Like, I just want to
Sure.
Just wind him up.
yeah, basically. I don't care who has it after that.
So,
Yes, well, I have a dragon amulet with 2 more charges.
I'll say each of you find like one of these random things, just like in amongst the battle as you've been doing your stuff. So, why don't each of you? We'll start with you. Give me a D20,
Me.
I guess.
Me.
Yeah.
Oh. Could you pass my dice, please? They're over there. Oscar can do it. No, it isn't because you're rolling and stuff. No,
No, it's fine. Oscar, please.
You haven't given me the D20.
Oscar can't do it now.
Not. Will, can you do this one?
Glorious and
Absolutely.
Oh, what did you get?
9.
9. Okay. What is that? You found a.
You can't change the answer.
I'm not. Okay, you found on one of the enemies. You found a hat of vermin.
What does that do?
This hat has 3 charges.
Right.
While holding the hat, you can use an action to expend one of its charges and speak a command word that summons your choice of a bat, a frog, or a rat. The summoned creature magically appears in the hat and tries to get away from you as quickly as possible. The creature is neither friendly nor hostile and isn't under your control. It behaves as an ordinary creature of its kind and disappears after 1 hour or when it drops to 0 hit points. The hat regains all expended charges daily at dawn.
Oh, good.
Got rid of grass necks before he used that.
Oh, it wasn't on grass notes.
Oh, okay.
It was just on like a corpse or something.
Sure.
These are random items you might have found.
Okay.
Alright.
That might be in your pre-built item.
It's part of Xanathar's, so
Yeah, I don't know if I've bought
What-
items off Xanathar. I might have.
Out of vermin.
Yeah. Who's going next?
Might as well go around the table.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's helping well with that, so I'll do
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, sure, yeah, either, whatever.
We'll go around the table.
Sure.
I wasn't ready.
So I'm not really basing the roll on much. It's just where it generally is on
Sure.
the table.
Okay.
D20. Yeah. Sorry. 7. All right. Okay. Try that one.
You find out what's going on?
No.
I would just buy an item.
Only if you care enough about this thing I'm never going to use.
Well, I'm not going to buy that one, but just buy all those other fast items.
Cool. Okay. You found a clockwork amulet, Fergie.
Oh yeah.
This copper amulet contains tiny interlocking gears and is powered by magic from Mechanus, plane of clockwork predictability. The creature that puts an ear to the amulet can hear a faint ticking and whirring noises coming from within. When you make an attack roll while wearing the amulet, you can forego rolling a d20 and get a 10 on the die once used. This property can't be used again until next dawn.
So instead of rolling a d20, I can just get a fixed 10 once a day.
On the dice roll, so you get add whatever bonus you want to that.
Oh, okay.
It's not bad.
That's pretty good for something
Yeah.
you're
Hell yeah.
higher than.
I mean, I'd fucking love that for clutch things. You just be like, insta pass.
Yeah.
Yes, creatures with low AC and stuff like that.
Any d20.
Oh,
I
that's
think-
yeah, that's pretty fucking
So
sick.
it's like guarantee a hit.
You know, it says on an attack roll.
Oh, just attack rolls. Oh, that's actually really useful.
Go on then,
That's
JD.
good. That's good. Some spell slots.
By the way, these are common minor items.
16.
16. Okay, I'll go up this end of the thing. Ooh. Let's see what that is.
Are these all Xanathar's? This is
Yeah.
Well, you're just buying the thing so we can just punch him in.
Yeah.
There's elixir of health in there as well, is it then? So I can just add it.
Is that not already a thing?
No. Which seemed a bit mad, because it seems like quite a normal.
You found a pole of collapsing. While holding this 10-foot pole, you can use an action to speak a command word and cause it to collapse into a 1-foot long rod for ease of storage. The pole's weight doesn't change. You can use an action to speak different command word to cause the rod to revert to a pole. However, the rod will elongate only as far as the surrounding space allows.
That could be quite cool in a dungeon, though.
There is.
What's it going to do?
It's quite funny actually.
We could
because
all jump 10 feet, to be fair, so
there's a funny.
What?
I don't know.
I think that item's actually in relation to a very old D&D meme.
Shit.
Whenever you go to a dungeon, you should bring a 10-foot pole.
Right, okay.
Just because it's like handy, but it's funny because it's like that's such a difficult thing to carry around.
Yeah.
So I think it's a nod to that.
I
Right.
wonder if you could like jump over a gap, extend the pole, swing, unextend it, and use it to like.
That's pretty
No,
cool.
because I've got to use a full action to get it to extend.
If you're
And
not in combat.
yeah, true.
All right, you're up next.
Which one's the D20?
The biggest one.
Is it?
No.
What's the
5.
That's actually really handy, especially for you. So this is boots of false tracks. Only humanoids can wear these boots. While wearing the boots, you can choose to have them leave tracks like another kind of humanoid of your size.
Oh. That's pretty cool.
Boots of what?
Boots of what was it called?
Refresh
Refreshment.
tracks or something?
False tracks.
False tracks.
Do you know what source book the elixir of health is from?
I think this should just be in PHP. Not sure though.
Do they do anything for my AC?
No.
Rod of collapsing isn't there.
No, I'm just buying.
Oh, right, okay. Every single other rod is better.
Oh, this is because it's not a rod.
Oh, what is it?
It's a pole.
A pole of collapsing.
Rods are like powerful magic.
Yeah, I know.
items.
I was like, I thought you said
PLE.
A clear.
clear.
Pole, 10 foot, there you go. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, you don't want the 10
I
foot.
don't want the 10-foot one. I want the fucking magic pole.
But it's the same weight as a 10-foot pole, so I might as well have that one.
It's a Dungeon Master's Guide.
Oh, it's in the DMG.
A potion. A bossy statue. Bossy statue.
Okay. So, with the various bits and bobs you've discovered, is there anything that anybody specifically wants to do or interact with before I describe the next step?
I would like to, as I say, spend a bit of time seeing what I can salvage from Luxus's corpse.
Okay.
I don't know how you want to play that.
Sure. Give me a survival check.
With advantage?
No.
No? 25.
Why do you advantage?
Because I'm doing it over time and it's like not in a combat situation. And Dragos is helping me.
Just like eating him.
Dragos is like licking the blood coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, gaining his power.
Seeing if he can get imbued with his power in any way.
Nice, that's a good roll. You are able to acquire a few things. You acquire a...
I'm specifically going for some hide, by the way.
Okay, sure. I'll describe a couple of things you get.
Whether I get
some new armor.
Yeah, I know, but always looking to expand and grow.
You were able to acquire a vial of frost saliva.
Oh, potion of gaseous form is already in there.
Oh, was that me?
Yeah.
Okay, vial of frost saliva.
Yeah. You.
What's it do?
I
don't know yet.
Something out.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll use our imagination.
Did you take the potion of superior healing as well as the You can have it as well.
Oh, okay.
You've got quite a few decent health.
I got
pots,
2 greater healing potions, so
Yeah.
You, in terms of hide.
Look what I called them my homemade health pots are.
Superior.
Lovely.
I'm probably going to say that even with a high roll like that, in terms of trying to acquire bits of the dragon's hide, I think you'd have quite a hard time getting access through any of the more substantial bits of scale.
Yeah, fair.
You find that although you are able to make some progress, the bits you end up with end up being like kind of unusable.
And I've fucked them since I've had to just cut them so much to try and get them out.
Yeah. So it's like not a very easy material to work with. And if you give me might give me just a wisdom roll or like a history roll, something like that.
19.
Nice. So I'd say maybe as you were doing it, you recall an old conversation with one of the hunt masters in your old clan, and he it was when you were a boy, and he was explaining to you that a lot of the time trying to craft goods out of dragon hide can be really quite challenging. Just because of how difficult material it is to work with, and there's no one in the clan who is able to. He said that there are rumours of other clans which have figured out ways to soften the hide temporarily to turn it into something usable, but for the most part it's a rare thing to come across.
Okay.
Help yourself to some big old teeth as well if you want.
Yeah, cool. Because I think maybe one of the teeth I will because obviously it's gonna be fucking one of the biggest teeth is gonna be this sort of size.
It'll probably be like this.
Yeah, but then the length of it, yeah.
Yeah, this would be the exposed bit, I would say.
Yeah.
And then so it probably extends a similar distance in.
Maybe I'll spend a bit of time trying to take 2 or 3 of them, and instead of wearing it as a necklace, I might sort of try and now fix them onto my bullet armor and have 3 just going down like this.
Oh.
To just have as a chest plate sort of thing.
Yeah, sure.
Just if it I'm happy for it to not give me any buff, just as an aesthetic.
Yeah,
fucking
sure.
cool.
Yeah. Maybe you spend some time carving them so that
they mould to the armor a little bit. Yeah.
Maybe quite bend over.
stabbing yourself.
Yeah, stabbing myself. giving myself immediately like frost damage.
Have you had the elixir of health? Should be on thing if you refresh your page.
Cool. I shall give it a whirl.
Google.
A bullet armor with some dragon teeth. Yeah.
You guys perhaps would have noticed that almost immediately.
Maybe a couple down the legs as well, sorry.
You would notice pretty much immediately as soon as the important elements of the battle were wrapped up. Khazal just essentially flew kind of directly up into the air, into the cloud there, and then some of the more perceptive of you would have seen him just flying off in the distance.
Could we work out what direction he was going?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he was heading in a sort of southerly direction.
Okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, as the next sort of day or two has passed, there's a point where there's word from the sort of town criers and that kind of thing that Kulen Kress is going to be speaking to the town in the coming evening. And as you amass in amongst the town square, Fanel kind of...
Sorry, can I just, for flavour, do we like dress appropriately and shit? Like maybe wear more formal clothing and maybe not wear... That's a point. Just more stinky fucking bullet armour.
Enoch's polished all of his rings, so they're like fucking... He's glowing.
Dazzling, yeah.
No.
You see Poirus lends
Flicking out your 10-foot pole. Go on.
Enoch's taking his bejeweled cane.
Yeah, maybe now, somewhat being betrothed to Kulen Kress, I might have access to a more elaborate wardrobe.
Yeah, Gish comes out, he's just absolutely dripped the fuck out, and jumps in the chair.
And you see like little name tags with like Kulen Kress.
Poirus' bitch.
Yeah, Mrs. Kress.
And maybe as we walk up to the, or like to gather, I sort of say, because I've been wearing the dragon necklace.
Is it like at the foot of the manor, by the way, or is it in the town square?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I've been wearing this dragon necklace and quite sort of making it obvious to Gesh that I've got this dragon necklace. And then sort of how have you reacted to that over the last like couple of days as I've just been sort of like showing that off?
Well, I feel like maybe with having been involved with the battle against Grassenex so much, I might have seen it. Is it quite a prominent thing?
Fairly, yeah. You can see it when he ripped his top off.
Okay, cool. And then seeing you wearing it, I feel like Gesh would feel quite sort of drawn to it. Finding it like really interesting.
Okay, yeah.
And I wouldn't have had a chance to maybe inspect it because you will have whipped it on straight away.
And I say
alongside all your other bling.
It's like it's actually just it's kind of like lost in the crowd. And I say, Gesh, you've been looking at the pendant quite a lot. Does it mean anything to you?
What was Grassenex, by the way? Was he Dragonborn?
He was a human.
He was just human. Okay. No, but I find it incredibly intriguing. What you didn't? Did you explain what it looked like?
Not well. I mean, I didn't describe under his mask.
No, the medallion.
Yeah, it's like a. So it's designed in the piece of a dragon horn. It kind of is longer than it is tall, so it goes across like this kind of shape. And it's so it's kind of this slightly iridescent, very dark green with this silver pearlescent inlay
on the horn.
Yeah, which provides the kind of detail.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I just sort of say, no, I certainly recognise Grassenex wearing that and flying around on Luxus. But Beatrice.
Beatrice. And I say, came across it on my my travels around the battlefield. Of course, you're probably too noble to go around taking stuff off corpses.
Well, maybe I can take things from dead beasts, and I sort of like flick one of the ends of the teeth that's now on my bullet armor, and it gives us ever so slight dull sort of zing as I do it.
And I say, yeah, it's one thing to skin a dead beast. It's another
To loot a dead body.
far too noble. You're far too noble for that, Gesh. I couldn't possibly hand it over. You wouldn't want to debase yourself to that level, taking stuff from corpses, would you?
You are quite right, Enoch. I'm sure it will earn you favour in the taverns we are to journey to.
I thought so.
Sound.
By the way, didn't you pick up some boots without trace as well? No, I'm joking.
Wanting to trade, are we?
You should be able to add your items now.
Cool.
Is all that shit that he listed off available?
I think all of it, yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
Yeah, baby.
Custom.
Yeah, nice.
But hat, Vernon, amulet, and the pole should be there.
Is that all you wanted to do with the...
Just wanted to wind me
Yeah, I
up.
just wanted to mind them
Can I have it now?
up. Yeah, sure.
He just sort of cast it aside in Polana's
Yes,
direction.
yes, he's done this.
Well, it's not really Enoch to give it up if he killed Grassenex and then
If you want to keep it...
well, I don't know.
So many facial expressions.
Yeah, I know. I was like, well, I don't know. DM, I don't know, make a decision for me.
Me? Make a decision. It's your character.
I didn't get anything else.
I'm going to roll a dice. If it's even, Enoch will get it. If it's odd,
Yeah.
Enoch will have it.
Yeah, actually. It was more
It's
about...
Enoch's.
It wasn't about any utility. It was like... Polana's big first battle, so she wanted to, like, a keepsake kind of thing.
Oh, that's a flex. I think that's really cool because you that like with your
Something that is a bit Enoch is to be like, Polana, how was your first battle? And like chuck it over to her or something.
Sure.
What do you want? You can have the boots of false tracks if you want, because to be fair, you've got a fucking pole and that's it. Like,
Yeah, I did just get a poll from that.
Do you-
big
or
guy.
you-
I think
I'm-
the pole's the best one.
You are incorrect, and it's made me encumbered, and I don't
Are
really
you
want
joking?
to drop
That-
anything
that
else.
fucking ring is by far
Yeah,
the coolest.
the ring's
thing.
the best thing by far.
Right.
You know that? Oh,
The
that was,
the
The
clock-
amulet.
Yeah,
my random
no,
roll
the-
was the amulet though.
No, the ring of mind blank.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about the random items.
Yeah.
Oh right.
The
okay.
pole is unreal.
Oh fair.
Like you can fucking use it to bridge gaps and.
I have
weird
so
stuff
many
in.
other things that do that. It's like
How about setting up a trap?
setting off a trap. I
You
think
can
I
climb
just
it,
throw
climb
my
up it,
dagger,
You
psychic
can
dagger.
pole vault, and then you can 10-foot pole off it, and then back swoop off it. You know, there's like all sorts of different.
But I
things
can't
you
do it
can
in combat because there's it's a full action.
Oh,
So
is it?
yeah.
Well,
So
it's
it's-
all about combat.
Yeah, but if I'm doing that, I'll just teleport. I think.
Yeah.
Don't you have do you want the elixir of health? I'm happy for you to have that. Right. Because it.
Or you can have... I got a potion of superior healing and the gaseous form thing.
Why don't you give him the gas?
Yeah.
Give him the gas thing. Then yeah. Because then if you
Pole
got.
is the worst one by far.
I like the pole a lot. I'd like if I was a character and play character.
Beer anyone?
Please.
I'll go for one. Imagine you're falling down a 8-foot wide cavern. Ah!
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Or I just use my boots of spider climb to stick to the wall.
Imagine you're hanging out in a campfire and you're just like, hey, look at this.
Or you decide to entertain some tavern goers with your pole dancing skills.
That would also dazzle.
Little goblin legs.
If you want these boots though, mate, you can have the
all
boots
3'5" of him.
Yeah, what boots have you got?
Yeah,
I got the boots of
there's
false
slime on my
tracks.
beer. Who cummed on the beers?
Do you want the boots of false tracks? But you got your spider climb.
Yeah. I guess it's just a no loot battle for Enoch.
You got the gas spawn?
Oh, do I? Okay, cool.
I'll delete it.
Add it. You can add it now. Yeah.
Did you have the pole as well?
What is this?
He hasn't forgotten the pole.
I don't think I can take the pole. I think because it's £7. Because it's like it's £10 and I only have £50 and I've got like armor and shit.
Yeah, I know.
You can have. Do you want the pole, mate?
I'll have the pole and maybe sell the pole.
How much could I sell the pole
If
for?
you need the pole.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was just thinking. If you can
Mate,
carry
I've
the
got
pole,
fucking
carry the
bull
pole.
armor that lets me jump like 50 feet.
Yeah, but it doesn't let
And
you
I've got
touch something
Dragos.
from 10 feet away.
Yeah, true. I can we'd walk along and I'll have the pole now and I'll just like tickle the back of Enoch's neck with the pole.
I just think the pole provides opportunity for creativity. That's why I like the pole.
But
it's quite-
We still have the immovable rod.
I do sometimes think if I can use it in certain situations, but it's tough.
It is tough.
Immovable rod, I think, is more useful in like dungeons and stuff.
Yeah, we've been pretty like open.
Yeah,
if I
imagine-
use it, I'm like, oh, I can just go around it.
Imagine if there was like a boulder like barreling towards you, and you're just like. Bloop. Anyway, I'm never going to do that. So.
How did you take the weight off the money as well? What did you do? Where'd you go up to here? Okay.
I was thinking like in the tunnels and stuff, I could use it to like stop someone following me if I was like, you know, if I cut the space in half, they couldn't get through
That's
that
a
2
big
foot gap.
thing, yeah.
I don't know, shit like that. Or using it to climb on to get over stuff.
Could you like?
No.
No, can I?
Well, maybe I don't know. What's the rules of it? Press a button.
Oh, cool. I went from carrying £95 to now carrying 7.
Why?
What have you done?
Did you
Because
manage
it was
your backpack?
No, because James just took off the weight of my money.
No, you're carrying more than 7
I know.
pounds.
Well,
Are
I'm
you sure you
not-
just didn't turn your backpack off?
Your bow is surely.
Yeah, no, your
7
backpack's
pounds
off.
on its own.
I don't know what. Oh, there we go. Okay, well, still £40 of weight from my money.
Yeah, that's what I like the money way, because then you got to get gems and use banks and stuff. It's a bit long. But
Well,
I pay D&D for the accounting.
mate, I've got a whole bank law. No. There's a financial crash in Eastbourne.
Yeah, what's this done? What's the war economy done to Eastbourne?
In D&D world, the economies are eternally stable.
Nah, the Irrigest house prices are a joke.
Just whole of Irrigate, the whole continent. House prices are fucked.
It's all been gentrified.
It's like goblins out on the street, like, can't afford anywhere.
That's why they live in caves. Yeah, that's why monsters are living in caves and all just been gentrified. They're actually very nice people.
Basically, it's a good turn.
My campaign
Yes,
is applied to
gentrified.
Calgary.
Yeah.
That's the most gentry thing I can think of.
KFC.
Right, so as you all gather round to watch Kulen Kress, he kind of comes down from the his manor or the castle, and he stands on the bridge, which is sort of elevated around the rest of the area. And you see people have kind of flooded around the walls and up on the parapets to listen to him. And he stands there. He says, "Today, Kulen Kress, we stand victorious." And with that, you hear.
Or I'm like,
You just turn into an absolute twink.
I sort of flicking my tail at Poirus.
You're just like dangling on his arm.
Sorry. Stop this tomfoolery. Is that the dead one?
You see,
Yes.
Yeah.
Poirus is kind of stood next to Kulen Kress, kind of stood very, very nobly with his hands behind his back, chest out, revealing his crest emblems, and around there are also guards kind of doing the same thing, but he stands at the forefront. And Fanel walks back and forth like across the bridge while he's talking, kind of addressing the people, and says, "While there is much loss, there is also room for celebration. In fact, I have learned many great things from this battle, and beyond all reasonable doubt, a man close to me, a man close to all of us, has proved himself more noble and proud than any other. Poirus," he gestures out with his hand. He says, "Step forward." And as he does, you see he's kind of like giant dragonborn pants.
They're actually not giant dragonborn pants. They're very skimpy dragonborn pants.
But they've still got a few mushroom stains on them.
Have you not bought new ones?
Sorry, Oscar.
Although I am deeply saddened by the loss of one of my closest advisors, the mage Vinar, who has done more good for this town than any other, I would like to turn our thoughts to those of happiness and celebration. For now, I am getting old. The battle that I had taken part in, I could feel myself slower, less with it than I once was. And so, it is with this that I shall bestow my crown upon your new king, Kulen Kress.
All hail Kulen Kress!
Does that make him the queen?
If they get married. And with that, he kind of takes his crown off, and you see Poirus gets down on one knee as he places the crown on top of his head.
Does it like knight him as well or something?
Well, if he does that, burn him, won't he?
Oh yeah.
It just kills him.
Fuck. Damn, that's like the fifth one. No, he places the crown on his head, and you see with that, Poirus stands up and addresses the crowd alongside Fanel. So Fanel's kind of going into retirement essentially, as Poirus takes over the throne.
He had no heirs that he thought to leave it.
He didn't have any heirs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And
Did
this
he
is
have
like
a-
his
did he
nephew,
have a-
right?
Poirus is his nephew.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Makes sense then.
So we make our way into the manor and we ask about the big black demon on the wall.
It's red.
It was black.
No,
Yeah.
big red demon. Pay attention,
When did I ever?
15 sessions ago. How could you forget? And so with that, you see that the crowd kind of erupts into celebration, and you see Poirus's closest men, take knees around him, and everyone kind of bows before him. And so Poirus is the new king. With that, the rest of the evening celebration ensues. I imagine that you all have a nice drink. Maybe Gesh, you're up in the manor.
I think we all are, aren't we?
Absolutely wrecked.
Yeah. To be fair, I think all of you guys would have your place in the manor at the moment due to your contributions in the battle.
Quite right too.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've been shown any level of the respect we deserve, I say as we make our way up to the mansion for the first time.
You literally have walked in and out of it like 500 times without any guards.
Yeah, but this is the first time we've been invited.
And as I'm assuming we'd be sat in the hall and having like a big feast sort of thing. I'm kind of picturing Hogwarts in a way, and like I might be sat maybe a few spaces near Poirus, and I'll sort of shout across to Enoch and be like, "How does it feel to not be sat at the top table?"
If you think you're at the top table, Kesh. And I say, Yeah. It's a classic move. Sleeping your way to the top. I commend you, Gesh.
I've learned a thing or two from you.
Shouting.
Maybe we're talking in our mind.
Yeah.
Everyone's like having like a nice quiet dinner.
Hey! You shagged your way to the top!
I fucked my way here.
I've got to say, I respect it. I didn't think a tight ass like you had it in ya.
Well, it's exceptionally tight.
No wonder Poirus likes you so much.
Likes that big cloaca. It's regular sex and anal at the same time. Yeah, so you kind of enjoy the revelry. So if you want to talk to anyone or do anything, go ahead or just tell me what you want to do. If not, then continue along.
Enoch might nick a spoon just for the as a memento and for the sport. But it's not exactly the hardest crowd. But he pickpocketed it off a servant, didn't just take one from the table
While he was
Yeah, that's the cool thing.
hey, what's that?
Turns into a bat and
I guess it goes in you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's kind of gross.
Yeah, maybe we'll have just spent some time sort of trading stories of war and stuff like that with Fannel, really, because I would hope that in this moment he would be much more open to conversing with people really during this celebration, because he's been very closed off the rest of the time.
Yeah, you see, he is talkative, but his demeanour is a lot weaker than it has been over the past few days, especially since the speech in particular. Whenever you do engage in these kind of conversations, they quite quickly become a little bit nutty. And so he's kind of, it seems like...
In an interesting way? Or is it just like he just...
Yeah, a bit. There's it's more like a frustrating, because he'll begin a very engaging story and then will go off on very bizarre tangents that will last a very long time about either minor details or brief interactions he had.
So kind of like talking to Harriet then?
Yeah. She's watching the stream,
not Harry,
Yeah,
Tish's
yeah.
mum.
Okay. I like to think that she's tuned in.
Doesn't miss an episode.
Right,
All 12 hours of it.
Nice. Okay, yeah. The hall itself is just magnificent because you're surrounded by these magnificent murals and large pillars. Tables run along the sort of in long ways for the nobles and higher ups and you guys. And you see they have also essentially set up a number of smaller tables for lesser nobles, and then some areas for peasantry in almost like a charitable way. What did you want to ask?
I was just going to ask if any of the tapestries and stuff and any of the decorations and paintings, are they magical in any way on the walls and stuff like that?
No, they're not. They're
Just
not.
thinking about Harry Potter. Sorry.
Kind of, yeah, but
No.
cooler.
That kind of stuff isn't really magical. There'll be some. It's mostly they kind of reserve magic for where it's more necessary than aesthetic in this kind of setting. It's
Kulen
humanoid
Kress,
settlements in
yeah.
general. So you'll see that the doors are often clearly magical. Will have magical locks on them, or perhaps alarm systems and things like that. In terms of the tapestries, and not so much. Even the lighting will be torches or lamps of some kind in various places. So you kind of have that thick, kind of waxy smell of burning oil from the lamps as well.
So are we sitting us three together and Gesh is kind of on his own, or what's the seating arrangement in the hall?
I would assume, based on your closeness to the high up nobles, you'd probably be but all of you would be kind of on the top table essentially.
Oh, I see.
Because you've very much solidified yourself. Like you've had conversations with Fanel. You are all close-ish with Poirus, who is now the king. And essentially, you know, a lot of the time, nobles are either rich people or friends of royalty or friends of other nobles. You know, so you're kind of in that camp really. Except for Plana, obviously, who would probably be like really high.
I'll be on my own table. Above everyone else.
You'd be on the elf table. I think you'd probably be part of the main body, really.
Okay, and then so who's like on my left and who's on my right? Like, you know, who am I talking to at this fucking fancy meal?
Yeah, so I'd say probably Dorwyn's on one side of you.
Okay.
And then
not talking to anybody.
Is Dorwyn indulging? Is he like, you know, what's Dorwyn's thoughts about this many people in the room? Like, you know, are you having a good time at this feast? Hey Dorwyn, you having a good time at this feast?
Yeah, this is the first time where I've felt like I've belonged somewhere in a long time. It's actually nice to not be fearful for once. I'm very much enjoying all the revelry. Not something I'm used to.
That was bloody beautiful, mate. And I cheers him. We'll make a poet of you yet, recounting these tales.
Well, I think I'll leave the creativity to you and Tide.
And I pour a bit of my drink out on the floor, and I say, to lost comrades, friends, and cherished ones.
Here.
Can I sort of like, will you have sort of said that in your psychic mind as well, and I'll maybe raise a glass too? From say I'm sat on the other side.
That's what I'm moving.
Oh, is that your moment?
This is yeah.
I'm also here.
I want to be involved.
I saw someone pour some stuff on the floor.
Spinach is looking.
nice. You'd see kind of.
Would Moradin's Chosen be here?
We'll just get into that.
Sorry, not mentioned it at all.
Yeah,
pretty
it's
prominent.
funny because I literally was just about to talk
Okay.
about, not necessarily all the Chosen, but about fuck.
Sons of...
No, chosen of...
No, bloody hell.
The main dude's name.
Yeah.
Oh,
Morgrim.
Mine is the head bigger. Morgrim.
Yeah.
Morgrin, yeah. So Morgrin is essentially sat alongside Fanel and Poirus like directly. I'd say you're maybe sat like perhaps just down from Poirus essentially. So you're with some of the other nobles, and to be fair, it wouldn't be completely ridiculous for you guys to be nearby, given you're pretty tight. You see.
Yes, I am.
So your conversations with Fanel would have happened at points when people have maybe moved around a little bit, perhaps later on in the evening. But initially, you see Fanel and Morgrim are quite regularly in slightly more deep conversation, which sometimes bleeds over to Poirus. But you see, he seems excluded is too strong a word, but it's not like entirely what he's involved with. You see, Morgrim seems to, from what your insight would tell you, is that he talks to Poirus more formally and speaks to Fanel more as a more friend. As for the Chosen of Moradin, they wouldn't really they may have been like offered to come to a feast like this. It's not really something that they would be wanting to do, as they kind of, it's kind of like duty never sleeps kind of thing. So they'd largely be still out on the streets,
despite their stature and their sort of
you got to keep
esteem.
Yeah, so they're like true. They're like the epitome of paladins. You know, like they exist purely to protect and deliver justice and aid. Yeah. They ain't got time for fancy bullshit when there's wounded people around.
Seeing that, I reckon I'd probably not go to the feast and like help out.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
You're already there.
Right.
You're already here, mate.
No, he didn't know that
I didn't say
detail.
anything about being
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
a
sure.
paladin.
Okay, so maybe you're perhaps in the sort of infirmary, I guess,
That's true.
where
In his own little table.
Well,
At
because
the
I was
top
gonna
of it.
say I would have been sitting with them and like talking to them, like learning shit and like exchanging stories and stuff. But then if they're not there, I probably would have been like, right, you know, I should
Yeah,
help
fair.
out as well.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Do you like go there and you're like, wait a minute, the children of Morgan are here,
Yeah.
and then just leave, and everyone's just like, oh, Your Highness, oh.
Or what? Yeah. What? Maybe you would. Shall we say that perhaps you were, perhaps by Poirus or Adjustators, maybe they were like insisted you were there, so maybe you went there for the meal and then kind of like, right, I'm going back to work, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. While there, is it something you want to like go through a bit?
Can do. It was more just like.
Just to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Just kind of chat away with them.
Sure, I would say there's while you're there kind of working away, you're kind of focused on all these various injuries, you know, resetting broken bones, like magically, and kind of saying prayers for people who are suffering beyond magical assistance or medical assistance. There's a point where this dwarf comes over to you. He's kind of his armour is kind of scuffed up and a bit messy, but nonetheless it almost makes it more beautiful in a way. As you see, he's just been in it the whole time. His gloves are off, and he says, as he walks over, he says, it's interesting coming across another paladin around here. I know you're not one of us. What takes you around these parts? Just the battle?
I must admit, I've not been on this plane long. I only recently journeyed to help out the two raids we go in that thing. People know that.
What's the main one we're sticking with?
Well, your draconic one was fucking awesome, I thought, but we didn't
How'd
settle.
you say
We
it?
didn't settle on it. We settled on like Walker Do or something like that.
It was let me have a look. It was like the kayaks or something.
That sounds quite cool.
Yeah, so the sword of Orenthal is the kayaks de Orenthal, and then we just shorten it to the kayaks for the sword.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. To be fair.
Yeah,
The
kayaks.
Yeah. He says.
So we're not. Sorry, to just clarify, should we say that we're not the Vakayaks? Should we just say we are Vakayaks?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the means the sword.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
are
Yeah, I knew that.
Vakayaks.
Yeah. I was
He's
just
the
confirming.
Dragonborn, you know.
Yeah.
He says.
We are the sword.
I'd heard that rather difficult goblin bard singing tales of you, singing tales of this gang. I might not have believed if I had not seen one of you. Oh, he's squashing it. I may not have believed it if I'd not seen one of you take Grasenex down through the breach in the wall. Put his name, maybe he's gone around by now actually. He says, well, how is it that someone from another plane was able to hear of the worldly troubles of us here on the material?
I received. It's funny actually. Throughout my life, I've been receiving these images, these glimpses of a dragon trying to talk to me. And a few weeks ago, I had a full vision. Yeah, a full vision from Orenthal about the quest that these guys were on, and he asked for my help, and I was very excited to come and explore the material world whilst doing some good to try and make it a bit better.
Well, how are you finding everything? I've been to your plane but once before to dine with the elves. I must say it was most beautiful. It's so strange and so different.
To me, that's just home. To me, this place is strange and beautiful. I must admit I'm still trying to get a grip on this world that I find myself in.
Yes.
What were you doing in the Fae?
Our order, some of us in the order were called there. There was some discrepancy. It was at a point when there was an attack from one of the Unseelie Court on an area in the Feywild known as Ithelwen. We were called there due to the allegiance between some of the Maldiarg and the creatures of the Fey. And I must say, it was a challenging time. We lost a good few men. None of us had encountered some of those Fey creatures before. But fortunately, we were able to band together and help push back the tide that was encroaching.
I actually remember that. I didn't realise you were part of that group. I must thank you deeply for your service. Anything you would ever ask, just come to me and I'll make sure it's done.
He says, why? Of course. My name's Gaidek, by the way. And what is yours?
My name is Polana. It's a pleasure to meet you, Gaidek.
Ah, yes. Isn't it strange to think that together we've both fought on each of our home planes? It's strange. Well, I must be getting back to these others. Perhaps when the night settled down a bit, you'll join me for a drink.
I would love that.
Very well. You see, he goes back to helping out around the infirmary, essentially. Nice.
Something that this has just made me think of as well. After Dorwin used his dagger to shatter the gem, do we now have no line of communication with Orenthal?
Orenthall's gone.
Yeah.
As far as we know, he's gone.
He sacrificed his soul to free Khazal, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he wasn't so communicative. He was working up to
Saving his energy for that.
Or he was just bored of Gesh.
Yeah.
Probably that.
Probably both.
You find that the after the revelry and everything, you guys, I'm sure you get put up in some bedding areas around the main castle.
Well, I know where I'm sleeping.
I cast invisibility.
Can I hit additional squelching?
Can I roll a performance check to see if anyone wants to hear a song from Enoch?
Oh yeah, you can bust. I mean, I'm sure they've got heaps of bards around.
Yeah,
You get involved. Yeah, give us a performance steady. Keep in mind you can't play an instrument, so the DC is incredibly high.
Oh really?
Yeah, but you could still
You
try.
can't play any instruments, can you?
No.
Enoch's had a drink. He wants to, you know.
Just sing.
Well, yeah, I've got an idea. So show us the roll.
Not nat 20.
It's a nat 1.
Pisses everyone off. And get kicked out of Kulen Kress.
you've maybe had a couple too many, and you kind of stumble over in memory of Tide, and kind of join the rest of the bards, and then immediately begin crazily strumming. At which point, one of the bards comes over and basically snatches the lute off you, and slightly angrily. But you see one of the guards basically storms over to the guy, snatch the loot off him, and you just hear him say, "Do you not know that you've just taken the loot off one of the heroes of Kulen Kress?" He says, "I demand you return it back to him now." And you see the bard timidly hands it back to you, basically. And you just continue to get to it, and you just kind of fuck up a load of songs for a little bit until you just kind of fall asleep in the middle of It's a nat one.
Just
sorry,
like
mate.
on the stage, and you're just like, like everyone's watching because the music's so bad that you've disturbed the whole evening, and then you just fucking pass out.
All of the street cred that you've built up for weeks, like singing your praises, is just gone. Everyone hates you.
Oh, I don't know that. people get drunk in Kulen Kress. I don't know what it's like. The next day, this is particularly rough.
Sorry, who
Enoch
else?
can survive this.
Who else
People
was
still want to hear him fucking slam.
of us as a party? Who else was aware of Orenthor as well? Would we? I don't know, because I don't know if this necessarily ever come up. I think we mentioned it to Vinar, we mentioned it to Poirus, but like, what is he now? So was he sort of that ancient now that he was sort of forgotten into tale almost, or is he?
Yeah.
His tomb was like, no one knew where it fucking was.
Yeah.
It must have been old as balls.
So there was the only people. Some people know, or dwarves will know of Orenthor because of the song. It's essentially like a nursery rhyme, about the Golden Banner.
So Moradin's Chosen will know about Orenthor.
Oh, a lot of them will. Yeah, they're all dwarves, and a lot of them are pretty ancient as well.
Okay.
So like Rugael knew about Orenthor. I mean, yeah, you probably spoke to Boris, so I'm not sure if we would have already known about him or not. You did spend a lot of time in Scales, to be fair. Yeah, I'm not quite sure like who the full list is, but I can tell you.
No, yeah. Sorry, just the reason I asked is because I think then also you guys obviously when you had a moment, I think with you and I in the battle having had our very brief and powerful interaction with Orenthor, I would have really liked to have just toasted to him being our saviour, you know, and sort of maybe just said to Orenthor our saviour, and
maybe you're able to get some of the dwarves like later on singing the Golden Banner or something.
Yeah, sick.
It's quite a jolly one. Nice. And so you find that the following morning, all of you are awoken pretty unpleasantly. Those of you which had a bit more to drink would be unpleasantly awakened by the sound of essentially a loud alarm bell ringing. This constant like ding, 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 and you see your servants kind of like storm through and open any doors they can, and they're all yelling, dragon attack, it's coming! And as people are kind of like ruffling around and stuff, and those of you waking up more groggily, you guys in the party probably know what this dragon attack is.
I'm going downstairs into the kitchen, and while everyone's out, I'm going to make myself like when everyone's scared of the dragon, I'm going to make myself a banging cooked breakfast and coffee,
Nice.
and just and that's what I'm going to do when everyone's. So I'm feeling like, all right, you know, I've had a full English and stuff.
Yeah,
What a bold assumption that it's going to go well.
Enoch,
This dragon
he's
attack is
so hungover.
Really, and incredibly ashamed of his last
He is
night's
so
episode.
hungover. He's literally going for
That'll
coffee and a
take,
full
like,
English.
30 minutes to cook it. Let's do some stuff, please. You can't just go eat full English and come join us.
That's fine.
We're all hungry too.
Yeah.
And you find that as those of you which kind of have gone outside would see groups of soldiers with bows firing arrows up at Khazal, who's just landed and is allowing the arrows to just tink off his armor.
Yeah, let's bust him out. We can have a look.
The boy, and
Any chance?
Crashed, churning up loads of dirt and everything.
can unless anybody else has started addressing the army, has anybody, or is it just fucking crazy chaos at the moment?
It's chaos at the moment, but as you're approaching, you just hear this like rumble, and you just hear, "Fools! I am no enemy of you all," and just continues to kind of crash forward. And as he approaches the wall, he essentially just kind of leaps over it, almost like a cat jumping over like a small ridge or something. He leaps over and just lands quite dexterously in the town, kind of being careful not to damage any buildings.
Yeah.
But his feet landing is enough to stir up a few cobblestones and everything.
Can I like sort of shout to everybody and say, "Men, weapons down. This is an ally. He saved us."
And as you say that, you see he just kind of like lowers his head down all the way to the ground and just closes his eyes, and you just hear, "Yes. You must forgive my absence. I could not resist the urge to stretch my wings of new freedom."
You are absolutely forgiven. I myself experienced just 2 days ago how it feels to truly be a dragon, so I understand the need to stretch your wings with the curse now being lifted.
Indeed. Now,
what tidings do you bring?
I am sure that you are all celebrating the victory of the battle, but how do you say your title again? Verkaix. He says, but all of you, Verkaix, you know there is more to be done, needs to be attended to, that should be addressed with the utmost urgency. Crodratek, while this is a blow to them, it is not enough to disrupt the flow of what they aim to do. There is much we ought to discuss, perhaps away from prying ears.
Where do you suggest? Because you may struggle well to fit inside the manor.
He says, indeed. I can take us to a place not far.
I was going to ask if we could ride it.
He says,
go on, would you being a leader, being royalty, would you have maybe taken, calm the men, but then maybe Polana might have come forward and sort of spoken and not interjected,
first time
but
meeting Khazal, I guess.
but maybe sort of introduce yourself, but because
he was still talking. I was kind of waiting.
I'm putting you in the limelight as well, though.
No, I know. But
Yeah,
I was
but
waiting
okay,
for a moment
okay,
to
cool.
do that. We interjected.
I know.
Yeah, well, I'll say with that, he says he delivers that he'll be able to take you guys to a place nearby, essentially. With that, waits for Enoch to finish eating.
Enoch stumbles out about 10 minutes later, just with half a bacon sandwich, trailing.
Like the remainders of a full breakfast, just in between some bread.
Yeah. I'm just
stumbling forward, still.
Mate, he rolled a nat 1. He's pretty pissed. He's and kind of scuttles out to join the gang, and sort of is a bit sheepish.
Nice, and you see a giant fuck-off dragon in the middle of the town.
Yeah, but
have you met Khazal? Were you there at the thing, or
No.
was it Typhos?
Oh, it was Typhos, wasn't it? Wasn't it? I guess so.
Oh, in the scales.
Yeah.
In
That was
scales.
fucking ages ago. Well, we met him and he came down.
Yeah.
Have we met him only once in our lives?
You met him twice.
Twice. I think I met him
It
the
was
second.
it was the first
Yeah.
time he attacked you. I think
Yeah.
it was really meeting him.
It was like
Yeah, fair enough.
Hence why I was thinking.
Oh.
That was Typhos.
Yeah, fair. Okay, well then.
I was thinking either of you might wanted to roleplay meeting him because it's a pretty fucking heady moment.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Right.
And I've turned up late.
Perfectly suited to your character.
Maybe
Sounds like
Khazal, as he begins to lower his head to the ground, as he does, you see the crowd kind of disperses back in case he's about to attack or something. He just moves his head over to Enoch and Polana, and you see initially he just kind of takes quite a slow breath in just through his nose, and he just says, "Where are the others?"
That's not. Surely these guys have to answer.
So, and you see me step forward, and I say, Khazal, I was a friend of Tide's. And Alictus.
Yeah, he's asking about both of them. Isn't
Yeah,
he?
fair enough. Yeah, well, I mean, but this is me meeting him. I was a friend. I was a friend of Tide's. From
Pre or everything.
from
Involved in the group.
I was a friend of Tide. I journeyed from from distant lands to save her life from joining a team of bounty hunters that were sent down to track and kill her. Sadly, I joined the party and we were venturing through the Red Spore caverns, and she didn't make it. And you see me a bit overcome with emotion at that point.
Yeah, and Gesh bows his head as well.
You see with that, Khazal just kind of like lets out this quite angry snarl. He's just like pissed off, basically.
She fell to an Alhoon.
Along with Elictu.
Says, I see. Well, those losses are tragic. I could sense the good in their spirit, as I can sense Orenthor. He kind of says, like, passing. And he says, right, we must journey. Come with me. And he just kind of, like, lowers his wing down, basically, for you to climb up onto.
I'll put my hand out and climb on Dragos instead.
Sure.
Because Dragos is not gonna pass up the moment to fly with Khazal.
Yeah, nice. Fair. And so, I mean...
Can Dragos keep up with Khazal?
If he flies a little bit slowly, maybe.
So you find that once you're on, after a moment or two, there's just this kind of pause as you see everyone around just kind of like stands back, basically. And initially Khazal, with his wings kind of tucked in to avoid any buildings, just begins like slowly like running forward, each footstep kind of crashing and rumbling as he goes. And after a moment, with his like powerful legs, just leaps up into the ground and opens up his wings. And with the thermal currents aided by his like slow flaps, he just slowly gains more and more height.
Okay, goodbye. Goodbye, Porus.
And as you're flying, he just kind of like turns his head back and he just says, Enoch, Pilana, how, what allegiance do you have to Bahamut?
Bahamut? Wait, that's the good one, right?
Yeah.
So...
He's the original.
Remember, we want a big dragon as well, so you've got to like shout over to it.
Do I have to do that?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay.
Tiamat's a bad one, yeah?
Tiamat's bad,
Tiamat's a bad one. So, so has Khazal like changed codes, Gunnar?
So yeah, from what you've learned from your conversations with Orenthor is that Orenthor was essentially able to like twist him into being aligned with the metallic dragons, essentially. But he will be also, from what Orenthor's described, this is all stuff, conversations you would have had at various points. He would have also explained that even in him converting Khazal to having a pure heart, he still will have his tendencies in terms
like
of
his primal behaviours, sort of thing.
Yeah, like he's not going to save a village out of like, he'll save the village because he knows it's a good thing to do, but he'll do it with like pure fury, like unrelenting rage, because he's a chromatic dragon, it's what they do. They like just want to fuck shit up, whereas a metallic dragon would do it to like just make sure everyone's safe and like deliver as much love as possible to the people who are there, essentially. So, you know, it's that kind of thing.
Okay. Khazal, I'm afraid I don't know who this Bahamut is, but I was brought here by Orenthor. Through a vision, he brought me from the Feywilds to this plane in order to help yourself and the party. Yeah, I hope that's proof enough in my intentions.
He says, if Orenthor was wise enough to trust you, then so will I be. And Enoch, Bahamut. Is there any more than that?
I say, I have previously not been a holy man, but those days are behind me. I was a friend of Tide, and we spoke of her connection and belief in Bakhmut through receiving the visions that Arenthor sent to them. That's proof enough for me. Tide was a very special woman to me.
Yeah, nice. Just from a lore perspective, essentially, is that the gods in the world are kind of like undeniably exist. It's just about like whether somebody would refer to themselves as believing in them or not isn't whether they believe they exist. It's
Like
whether
practicing.
whether they
like
accept their wisdom.
Who you can.
Just you might already know that, but I was just saying.
I wouldn't know that. So just assumed. But...
No, I'd say that it's possible that you could have heard of them. I mean, heard of him. No, you would have been more.
Are gods in the Fae different? They're not the same like Pantheon.
It is, but the gods that will have interacted with the Fae will be fewer than those who interact with material plane.
Right.
Because all of the gods want to get their shot on the material plane because they like it. The Fae is like made by elves and elven gods and that kind of thing. So it would be fair enough. Like you could know about him, but it would be fair enough if you didn't. Yeah. Okay, I'll wait for Ali to get back and then continue. Clickety-click.
Also, someone's got files of anti-Thompson on the
Have they?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Fearless, dude.
Oh, for resistance.
Don't know what they're called technically.
They're poison resistance.
Poison resistance.
Yeah. I don't know what their actual name would be. I think it would be something like that.
What?
Nothing. Just did a little smile.
Oh, right.
Okay. So, as you kind of saw in the direction of the scales for a little while, and as you're
Dragos occasionally squawks at Khazal as well.
yeah, as you're sort of flying through the air, you see that Khazal makes way for Dragos every once in a while, and will just occasionally like bite at his tail a little bit just to spook him.
That'll freak him the fuck out as well.
I'll react to that.
No, Khazal will bite Dragos.
Oh,
bite
okay,
Dragos'
fine.
tail.
Maybe it's like Dragos like flying next to him, like looking at like
Yeah.
under his neck and shit.
Yeah. I'm picturing like when we were little kids and we'd like, if like dad was doing something, if we went to touch his face, he'd go and it would scare the shit out of you. Horrible. We do something like that. Just like as Dragos flies past, we'll just kind of like that. So just freak him out. You find as well that like initially when you first would have got onto Khazal as well, as soon as you kind of touched him, you would have felt this kind of like static shock, kind of make your hair stand on end and that kind of thing. As you fly as well, he kind of invites ionization to the air around him. So after flying for a little while, he eventually lands down in this sort of patch of woodland which has this open clearing, and as he descends down, he tries to come to a gentler stop as he can, as you dismount.
Essentially, speaking Draconic.
He says, now, each of you, there are two matters that we must attend to. One of them is of the utmost importance. It is the matter of Bahamut's scale. After I recovered the scale from the site in which it crashed, I delivered it to my masters, and they have locked it deep in a dungeon to learn what they can from it, see what powers they can extract, or perhaps even destroy it. Their objectives are unclear to me, but I know one thing for sure, and that is, during the time when the scale was burning through my claws, I could hear Bahamut's voice inside my head. He told me that he has a message waiting for you. A message and a boon. That's why I believe if we are to have any hope at stopping the cult, well, the scale is the best bet. Secondly, there is a matter that I cannot shy away from. I understand it may be, well, Orenthor would call it indulgent, but I may need your help to aid me in this task. Let me just look at the thing, sorry.
Let me just check my notes.
Where's my freaking thing?
Like,
Sorry,
super
guys.
important.
I'm just trying to remember.
I had this really important thing I was what was it?
Yeah.
What was it?
Rubbed off.
There's a critical life event. He says, the cultist, the one who held control over my mind, his name was Corvexus. I know where he resides, and I fear I cannot continue my journey without witnessing his demise. Now, he too has locked himself deep into Skresta Stratek, the Sanctuary of Control. It's from there that he was able to take hold of my mind and the mind of other dragons too. I suggest we go there. There is a certain room, an observatory of sorts. I believe if you were able to get him into that room, then I should very much enjoy the pleasure of seeing the light fade from his eyes. Is this something you are willing to aid me with, Verkex? Kayaks.
The kayaks.
Is this something potentially we can do after sorting out the scale? You said that was the most important thing.
He says, while yes, the scale is the most important, I believe that if we are able, in addition to my own dreams of revenge, to take out Corvexus may additionally deal a blow to the rest of the commanders and potential guards of the area where they're keeping the scale.
Will it, sorry.
No, awesome.
It will certainly disrupt the hierarchy of the cult of Croconus if we take down their leader. We will, I, sir, surely would be willing to aid you. However, we are a party and we act as one, so we must agree on it together.
This isn't the leader, by the way. This is just one of the other generals, essentially.
Okay.
Like a high-ranking guy.
Similar to Grassanex.
Yeah, sort of.
But maybe a little bit more powerful?
I can make him more powerful. Well, the thing is, if I don't know, Grassanex was very strong. It was just kind of a fortunate situation.
Okay.
That he died the way he did for you guys.
We'll find out how strong he is.
Indeed. Okay.
Keep in mind, he immediately, the second he was on the battlefield, he destroyed 2 buildings and killed Vinar without anything even happening. Just as a reminder.
Deleted 10% of our force.
And I was pretty OP as well. Okay.
But yeah, anyway.
Can I ask what are the defences around Corvexus, and how many dragons does he have under his spell?
I am not sure how many there are. There are at least 2 others, but they are stationed at various points in the scales. There are always jobs to do, and they were secretive behind what exactly they would let each of us know. Nonetheless, the defences. The dungeon runs somewhat deep, or I'd say he just calls it. Yeah, he just refers to it as Skresta Stratek.
Remember that.
So I'll just call it the Sanctuary of Control. That's what it is.
Sure.
He says the Sanctuary of Control does run deep, which is where I may need your aid, for that's surely where he would station himself, and I would need people who can access the building to bring him to the surface. For he will surely have felt my connection with him drop, and if I were to show up, he would inevitably hide himself away.
So will you be aiding us or not?
As I say, if you were able to get him to the observatory part of the building, then I will certainly be able to aid. In fact, I would relish the opportunity.
Well, I'm happy to aid you in your quest, but as Gash says, it's up to the party as a whole.
Don't worry, Khazal. We'll go down underground.
Enoch, have you sobered up yet? Do you feel lighter on your feet again?
What? I'm fine, Gesh. That bacon sandwich really did the ticket, actually.
And the wind in your face will surely have cleared your head.
Because I was like, guys, what are you doing?
You just can't help it. Just can't help it. What say you?
Aye, Gesh. We will go and help Khazal. We'll delve underground and fish this monster out from whence he came.
Nice.
Alongside Orenthor, I feel that you, Khazal, were the true saviour of Kulen Kress. So if this is what you ask of us, certainly we will aid you in your revenge.
With that, he bows and he says, "Thank you. We have another opportunity to deal a blow to Kroger Tech, and then another. Eventually, we will see them fall." Anyway, do you want to lift back or something? He just flies off.
20 miles away.
Oh, it's just like our first interaction. So Corvexus is just the keeper of the scale of Bahamut. He's not the leader of the cult.
Oh no! So the scale is in a
Scale is
different one altogether.
Okay.
Corvexus is he's essentially like this guy he's one of the people who has been given the ability to control dragons.
Okay.
As in he has dragons under his command, and Khazal was one of them. And basically Khazal was just saying, "I know where he is. He's got other dragons."
So he was the one that was basically torturing Khazal the most.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
That's one thing I didn't describe initially as well. Is you would actually see that Khazal has basically just a huge scar basically where the gem was once it's been shattered. You can see where the scales have kind of healed all strange underneath it, kind of magically.
So we've all agreed, we're all going to go and do this thing. Khazal, can you share any details on Krojatech in general? Do you know how big is this? How big is their group? How many roughly how many dragons do they have under control? If you know anything.
He says, yes, there are several other dragons that I have encountered during my time with Kroger Tech who have been similarly subjugated as I was. There are at least 10 others that I know of. However, during my time with them, I was constantly surprised at various times when a new element of their force would be revealed to me that I previously had not known. The true expanse of their network is not known to me. However, I know that it is large, very large.
Have the cult ever made an attempt to control metallic dragons?
He says, yes, they even have at least 2 that I can name under their control, but they are hesitant to do so after what happened with Orenthor all that time ago. When Orenthor was able to free himself, the damage he caused to Kroger Tech almost buried them under the ground permanently.
With that, I have a big grin. Gesh has a big old smile, knowing an evil smile, knowing that Orenthor did some real damage back to them back in the day.
When did he escape? I thought his bones were in the Tunnel of the Valleys.
Yeah, it would have been roughly 300 years ago.
But in terms of our story, I thought they captured him, and then that was it, and he died.
No, he freed himself.
Oh, what were there was dragon bones in the tomb?
Yeah, that was Ornithor's tomb. His tomb built for him.
Oh, but then they
to
sort of
celebrate
found
his
it.
life.
Yeah,
to try and get the gem back, basically.
got it.
But when they tried, it was like breathing fire on him.
Do you paint that for you? It's fucking wicked.
He says,
Next step is to try and print minis that can go on Khazal. Like rocking up to battle on Khazal. Surely happen in time.
He says, there are a number of matters regarding Krodra that I would be better placed to deal with in my own time. And there are certain things I should attend to prior to before we decide to set off and apprehend Corvexus. I shall meet you back here in a week, and then we shall head. We shall travel together and do what we must. Of course, anything you wish to know, I will be at liberty to tell you all.
I'm going to speak to Dorwin and say, I'm all for helping this guy out, but is it just me that thinks he's going to wait outside while we go in and kill the guy?
I think the point is he can't fit in the cave.
Seems awfully convenient to me.
Seems awfully inconvenient to me.
Agreed, Dorwin.
Khazal, the scale of Bahamut, you say the cult are trying to gain its power, but do you know what powers it might hold? Or why he sent the scale in the first place, other than to message us?
Bahamut's full intentions, I'm afraid, are unclear to me. I can't be sure what he may know or not know about, but what I can say for sure is that a divine gift from a god as powerful as Bahamut, one of the original creators behind much of what you see on the material plane, the potential power stored within could be, well, it is unimaginable. I have no doubt that this is what Krodra are trying to divulge. However, I highly doubt that they will find any success. So, as much as it would be a boon to gain the scale, I do not fear it falling completely into their hands. It's just a matter of the defenses they have posted around it already.
I don't. Go on.
You said that Bahamut had left a message for us. What was this message?
I mean, that was the message.
Oh, okay.
There's a message. Yeah, he says. He did not convey the contents of the message to me. Only that there was a message in wait. For he could not risk my mind being probed by Corvexus.
I was just going to say it's just a fleeting thought. I don't vocalise it. Gesh will think, the scale could make some good armour.
He shows up with like a fold-out forge, like, right, like an apron on, let's do this. Probably would make some pretty ridiculous armour.
The scale of a god.
Yeah.
Enoch's tingling.
Yeah.
You are now one of our party.
Not
Khazal. We are to.
It's just immediately subjugated again.
Just like, now Enoch wants another bacon sandwich.
Trying to butter the bread.
Goes down through like a drive-through of a city. It's like a dragon rocks up with the dragon, goes into a bakery, and gets back on.
It's like a big dragon hat, like, holding like a £5 note.
Well, okay, all I was going to say to finish that, I was literally going to be like, you are now one of our party and whatever we have of ours is yours.
He says...
Enoch's definitely not agreeing with what I just said.
He says, I thank you for your kindness. Now, return here in a week. And, I mean, yeah, do you want to live back, I guess?
Probably.
Yeah, I'll say he flies maybe to like within like a mile or so of Kulen Kress.
Flies all the way back.
Lazy. I don't know, he's like gonna freak everyone out, isn't he? Everyone tried to...
You could go outside.
Yeah, everyone
like
tried to kill him last time.
A mile away?
It's a mile
Mile,
away,
dude.
5 minutes.
No.
Maybe,
A
maybe,
mile?
maybe,
It'll take you
10 minutes.
maybe the field's outside so that everybody can see him and they'll see that we're with him. So
We're 2 mile away.
yeah,
They're always just chilling on his phantom steed, being like, bro, chill, it's just a mile.
I can cast fly.
To be fair, also, you are in ye old times when walking a mile is like walking 100 metres. You know?
You'll walk a mile to get water.
It's still, but you can just
Walk a mile to go for a shit.
Well,
shit or something.
That does in your armour.
Backlit all the way back anyway.
Yeah, you went to the
Yeah,
and
sick.
you're like, no, fuck
Just
that.
yeah.
So-
It's going to sound like,
And then like Dragos
just walks up to Khazal and just pops the immovable rod in his mouth.
oh, just deep throats.
That would be good if you were getting charged by like a beast.
Yeah.
Just be like bonk.
Then it would just like fucking impale itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you jump off Khazal and like Dragos and Enoch just glide into this town together.
I'm like a little flying squirrel, and you're like a majestic dragon.
Just like a wingsuiting dude, like.
With no parachute. Straight into the watchtower.
Also, when
No, mate, I teleport down.
when it's one of the good things as well is when Poirus is around, Gesh has an immovable rod as well. Anyway, yeah. So right. Well, I'm going to say that on your walk back into Kulen Kress, you
I cast locate plants and animals.
find some.
Wait, so
what you
who,
think
have we actually?
Oh, I thought we were fucking around, but whatever.
Yeah, no. As in, like, have we like actually gone back to flown down? So are we not with them for this, or like mechanically? Because we said that. Is it?
Yeah, fuck it.
Were you
Yeah, 'cause
chasing
it's cool.
around or-
Yeah.
I find-
No, that's fine. Yeah, they
That's right.
You
maybe.
probably would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, if
Got
it,
the
if
ability
it,
to just float over
Although
there.
if they feel if I just cast flying.
So it's just Polana and it's
Fuck's sake.
Polana and Ruddy. They're just like
Why'd you a donkey?
Donkey!
donkey.
Spectral mule.
It's this beautiful, majestic stag, and you just called it a donkey.
Ghost ass.
Oh no, it's the
Displacer beast.
Displacer beast. Yes, but you can't fly.
Could you like theoretically summon a ice cream van?
It was DM, wasn't it?
What the fuck is that?
Just kids when I was like, oh, we don't have ice cream.
Just hands them like ectoplasm.
Got some red mushrooms.
So yeah, as you are riding back to Kulen Kress, you come across a incredibly emaciated, sort of dishevelled.
Is this just me now?
And
I
Rudy.
mean, I'm sure you wouldn't have used a fly slot, or did you? I mean, do you have a beast, a bat mount now, or no?
Yeah, but I'll probably like use it or something.
Oh, okay,
I
fine.
was
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, you got a new feat or something.
I've got no, I just got a spell.
And okay, so maybe you're riding in tow with, or walking alongside, or whatever with Polana. Maybe it's sat on the little lap. It's cute. And it's just like this old, bold man. It's like, yeah, fucking, what's her name? Arwen? No, Awen. They're all the fucking same. No, the ginger chick who loves Aragorn.
Yeah, Eowyn.
Awen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arwen. Oh, it's Arwen and Awen. Yeah. You know when Awen's with Mary, but it's just like instead of just like a fucking horrible
Purple liver spotted.
yeah, just like picking up mushrooms out of shit on the floor.
You're fine.
Picking nits off the display surface. Sorry. So as you're walking along, you spot this woman who's like incredibly just incredibly like emaciated. You see she's wearing these like brown kind of like potato sack clothes, and she's just kind of hobbling forward and kind of paying no mind, and she's kind of got a bit of a dead expression, and as you kind of walk past her, you just hear her kind of like mutter a very quiet, "Help me."
What's wrong?
Just they've done awful things, terrible things.
Who has?
The creatures, I don't know what they were. It was so horrible. And you see, with that, she just kind of like falls onto her knees and begins sobbing.
Okay. Is she like physically injured?
Yes, she's like got what look like kind of flay marks on her.
Okay. I'm gonna heal her, lay on hands, give her like 5 points. Or wait, just a peasant won't really has like 3 or 4 points of mental health.
You don't have to toss it up. Give her like 5. I would say would be reasonable.
Okay. I'm gonna lay on hands and kind of heal those wounds.
You see, like briefly, she gets this like moment of physical respite before, and she kind of like relaxes into like a slight smile before what you would gauge to be kind of mental anguish takes over, and she begins crying again. But it's like flying wounds.
What did these creatures do?
Just like
We said they took me to a place. It was about 3 days march north. There were all these stones, and well, the whole time I was there, they were torturing me, and it was so horrible. And before I knew it, these beasts, they were like dogs. They came out of the darkness, and they began attacking me and tearing me apart. But before I knew it, my body would be back together just for them to do it again. The whole time I could hear this cackling, this horrible cackling. I can't get it out of my head.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Could you find this place again? Do you know where it was?
Please don't take me back.
We won't
Please.
take you back. Do you know the area well? Could you locate it for us on a map?
Yes. I could.
Okay. Let's get you back to the town. We'll get you rested up and healed, and then we can talk about showing us something.
it's only a 5-minute walk.
She
We're fucking miles away.
as you're walking, she just kind of like looks up to you and says,
There's smoke rising from the town. What had happened?
Had you not heard anything of the battle?
A battle?
Yes, only a few days ago we had a large battle here. Who are you?
She says,
Are you not from this area?
I am, but the past month or two is a complete blur. My name's Holly.
Holly. And did you live in the town? We're walking during this way up.
I do live there. Yeah. But as I say, the last couple of months are a complete blur.
Well, I'm afraid the town you remember isn't quite going to be the same that you returned to today. There was a large battle. A lot of people have lost their lives and a lot of destruction has been brought to the town. But we did ultimately win the battle.
We're not in a time of war. What? Is this another one of their tricks or something?
I'm afraid it's no trick. This is all the truth. But rest now. We'll get you back to the town.
she just kind of like, you see she sort of just weeps a little bit and maybe you lift her onto your mount or something, or walk alongside her or something. And perhaps on the way you just kind of fill her in, provide some comforting words and things.
Yeah, part of me didn't want to reveal a huge amount of information.
Okay.
On the off chance that she's some fucking Project spy.
I see. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, fine. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Yes. Okay. So when you return to the town, you see that she basically asks if she can go back to her house, and fortunately her house is one of the ones which hasn't been destroyed. It was over up in the north, in one of the slightly poorer areas, basically. And I would say that perhaps on the way, when you guys kind of come over to see Polana, I guess potentially all three of you, but you two more so would recognise her. Yeah.
Dawn's there with me that whole time, right?
Oh, yeah. I'll say maybe Dorwin less.
Well, let's just say now that.
Yeah.
She's here.
Or maybe I'll say that when she said her name, Holly, it like rang a bell, but you weren't weren't quite sure. And then maybe Gesh, like when he raises something.
Yeah, it does.
Something that she was cursed.
But we never
The
went
dude-
in and helped.
Oh
I
shit,
think she
the
married
witch
that
or
dude.
something like
Holly
I know.
Merkit, that was it. I knew it was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she, just the husband showed, like this guy showed up and they got married, and then he became a bit weird, and he was like completely infatuated with her.
And didn't he take her up to like the Blawns? Was it up north towards? I swear there was.
When you guys found out about a hag, I think you were able to learn that there is one who lives in the Glawns. I'm not sure if she took him up there necessarily. But yeah, I'll say that as she kind of approaches, she's like begins like walking over to her house, and
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
and I'll say that perhaps like because she's slightly unrecognisable, maybe a villager like walks up to her and says, this like a young man basically just approaches her and just goes, "Oh, Holly, are you okay?" And like comes forward and kind of takes her arm, and you see she kind of like flinches away slightly. And she just says, "Where have you been? We've been so worried about you." And she just turns and says, "Oh, Lyric, it's so good to see you." And she just kind of falls into his arms. It's at this point that you might clock that this is, for those of you who know her, is Holly Market, somebody that Tide had been pursuing and would have been chatting to you about in the bar and that kind of thing. So I can either tell you what you remember, or do you want to notify it?
I remember writing some shit down about
I've
it.
got a load of notes that Cora took. This was a session where I wasn't here, but she's noted down things. But if you've got it, that's good summary.
Yeah. So
Here we go. A new partner. Derlin was a new partner. Silver Sword from Mumford Marsh in Kruller.
She met Granny on the road and told her she could make her loneliness go away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But there was a curse that went alongside it. The Granny on the Road. And then it goes back to Khazal. No, I ain't got no more than that.
fine. So she, yeah. I mean that sums it up really. She was incredibly lonely after she lost her husband, and met this Granny character. And then shortly after that, this man called Derlin, who had a fairly ambiguous past, sort of came into her life and sort of swept off her feet, and she had this wonderful time with him. And then after a few months, his kind of, it was almost like the honeymoon phase for him continued, and for her it became a normal relationship, and then that divide became more and more extreme. And she was at a point where she didn't want to leave him because he was like very like present, but then he was also very like kind of like creepy and overly emotional. It was all a bit peculiar. Yeah, and then you were investigating, and you were able to find that there was some magic going on, some enchantment magic, but we didn't get much further than that because you were swept off to more important matters, basically. And so now, we're in this position where Holly's all fucked up for some reason, and it's a bit of a mystery, I guess. So yeah, what do you guys want to do?
Well, we have a week until
Yeah.
we must meet Khazal once again, so seeing Holly in this state, I think the woman deserves liberation from her troubles.
I agree. Anything that Tide thought was worthy, so do I.
Indeed, Tide certainly took it upon herself at the time to take this woman under her wing. I think it most just to continue her care in her honour.
I say, absolutely. Let's finish what Tide started. And I was going to say, I don't kneel down. I just walk over to Holly and I say, we'll catch the people that did this to you and bring them to justice, Holly.
Jesus. Okay. Just be careful. They're fearsome beasts.
Beasts, you say? Can you describe them any further? I know reliving this and recounting it will be difficult for you, but any information you can give us will surely help us to overcome them.
Yeah, they...
Dorwin just hiccuping in the corner.
Smash me.
Eating too many mushrooms. He's like, she says, they came out of these shadows, and when they emerged, it was like they were making these awful noises. It was like laughter, like horrid, wretched laughter. They had dark fur and evil eyes, and there was a presence. I could feel a dark presence. It's nothing like I've ever felt before.
I must ask, Holly, what were you doing so far from home, alone?
She's I can't remember for the life of me. All I know is 1 minute I was in my home and things started to become more strange, and then I can't tell you how much time has passed, but my next memories are just pain and anguish and suffering. And then I managed to come back here. I guess they must have let me go.
And was this your husband that had done this to you? Did you ever see him when you were captured?
No. Before all of this, I remember Derlin. He left me, I believe, but I can't remember.
Can you show us on a map where this place is that we're taken to?
Yes, it's I'll show you on the regular map.
Blah, 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 blah.
Pardon?
It's a blah, 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 blah.
What's that?
It's what you can say whenever they're showing us somewhere and we just like know it.
Yeah.
The granny surely did curse you. We shall do
Is
our
it in the
best.
Glorns?
No, it's not as far as the Glorns. Oh shit, that's...
Well, we're only a mile north at the moment, aren't we? Well, we're in the town now.
Yeah, that's true.
But she was found a mile or so north, so...
Where the hell are we?
Oh, there we are.
We're in Kulen Kress.
Actually, we're a mile outside.
Well, no, we've got back. We're in
We
back.
are. We are.
Oh, actually, you know what? Fuck it. It is in the Glorns. Yeah, sweet. That actually works.
Cool.
Alright.
The beasts are in the Glorns, Holly.
Yeah. Yeah, just on this side of the river. Almost straight north from here.
Fishing trip, anyone? Okay, guess we wouldn't say that, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Just when I thought you were starting to develop a personality, guess.
He's ready to use his long pole.
No twine.
Puts the end of the pole in the water. That's tasty.
And Dorwin just comes along and throws the last of his bombs in the water and just kills all the fish and then we just harvest them all.
I have 10 meters of string to go with my 10-foot pole.
You're looking pretty good now.
Do any of you guys know much about fishing?
Not that I know of.
Enoch's never been fishing. Oh, it's
I might know a bit.
Basically, I saw
But
some
not
guys.
not official fishing, but like catching fish. I've probably done some of that in cave pools and shit.
You like Gollum?
No.
Just for a bit.
Wait, no, I'm talking in my own real life.
it makes the character.
I was like, why is he even fishing in caves with his hands? I was like,
I believed you! Alright, I knew where you were going.
I was like,
The thing is, you just weren't doing Dorwin's voice, so...
My man's played Stardew Valley. No, I was only asking because I saw some fishermen the other day and he had these. It was just like one really long pole without a reel. It was quite thick as well, and had quite a short rope on it. And the pole went really long into the river. And they just had it there. I was wondering if it was like carp fishing or something. Or weird.
Fly fishing.
No, it wasn't fly fishing. But you like, you know, like no. It's like a
The
fly
type of
fishing.
bait you use is fly fishing.
No, it's not. It's not. Fly fishing is when you flick the bait into the surface of the water
And you
pull it
keep
off
moving it,
immediately.
yeah.
And you just keep doing that. You have to fish like that in certain areas because you're only allowed to catch fish which are like unprotected species which get things off the surface as opposed to things that like swim around on the bottom. Yes. So where were we?
But I feel like Gesh would probably know a bit about fishing.
No,
I know.
Oh, right.
I know. I have kept up.
Oh, fine.
But yeah, along with Dorwin's cave fishing, or real life cave fishing, I don't know. Would Enoch know how to fish?
Enoch wouldn't know how to fish, but he...
Where is this coming from, guys?
he said fishing. We're going to the river, and he said fishing trip.
Oh, I see. Oh, fine. No, fair enough.
Enoch wouldn't know how to fish, but
Just figure something out.
yeah, if Gesh wants to do it, Enoch would go fishing with Gesh.
And he'd show Gesh that he's better at fishing than Gesh.
No. Enoch would go fishing with Gesh, and like be like a father-son moment. This 6'2" giant and this 3'5" little kid.
Oh,
you're the
father.
father.
Fish and you're like, I could probably do that.
Yeah.
Enoch would be the bait.
Catching like massive
Enoch. Yeah.
With like a little hook on the back of his top, like a giant shark coming out. Like, come on then!
Actually, yeah. Enoch reckons he could fish quite well.
That's more like it.
Not with a fishing rod. I said Gesh, I bloody love you, mate. I go all the time.
Here's a quick question.
I wouldn't use a fishing rod though.
You'd tickle the trout.
I'd
from
use my
underneath.
fucking psychic blade to wing him without its spinal cord. Be like,
Blow up its mind.
yeah, totally. Just be like,
I quite like that your psychic blade is it's kind of interesting because you've got the ability to psychically get somebody's mind, but I quite like the law in my mind that rather than having the ability to penetrate someone's mind and get their secrets or force them to do something, you only are able to cause damage with an immense amount of power that you just explode out onto someone. You can't quite control those an element enough to subdue an enemy.
The way I've kind of imagined it is that I have a mind lance, and I can direct a tendril of my mind in the sort of the psychic battle that we're having. I can direct a tendril of my mind and form it into a spike and kind of just plunge it into their psychic consciousness.
Okay, so what do we want to do then?
How late is it? Is it worth? Do we have time to go? Start heading today.
9:45.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean, Khazal came down in the morning.
That was pretty relevant, to be fair.
And then flew back, so yeah, it'd probably be early afternoon. You could definitely start your leave if you wanted to.
Should we start making our way?
Yeah. Okay. I would say like if we're happy to start making our way, like as we leave, now, like feeling that I've grown in experience from the battle, I just like take a few arrows out and like fucking half a mile away, just shoot a couple of birds, in the trees, just because I'm now like so dead eye with my shot that I just like I use my sharpshooter feet to just zone in and just fucking like Hawkeye, just be able to see so far and just kill some fucking random living shit in the trees.
And then you've got to hike miles to pick up.
Oh no, I didn't leave it.
We're not even eating it.
Maybe we'll go and get it.
You should
Get
You
some
would
cannies.
Guess we wouldn't kill for no reason.
No, he wouldn't. But there might be a slight bloodlust after the battle. Sort of the emotion and the adrenaline just sort of like lapses a little.
Guess he's got PTSD.
3 days. It's like, yeah, you guys feeling this adrenaline? I'm fucking scared of everything.
This pigeon was like came out of the tree and gets just like bang.
Walking up to Kulen Kress and turn around, guess it's just like easy.
We got PTSD, bless it.
Like tell Horus we're like leaving for a little while, or like because they like know anything about these attacks or something.
Yeah. We can maybe say that you just like do that if you want. Yeah.
Sure, I'll do that.
Sure.
You let someone know. Basically.
Yeah, we're out of here. I mean,
We're like Beanox now. They might be like, oh, where's the Kexus?
Yeah.
Where's the
kayaks?
The
Kayaks.
The kayaks. That's gonna take some getting into
kayaks.
the kayaks.
The kayaks.
The kayaks, yeah.
Yeah, we're just about to go to a river. Okay, so you begin.
Before we set off, I summon my fantasy steed.
Oh yeah, go on.
And from this guy's book, I've learned a ritual, and I give it a try. And as I complete it, these sort of like purple, wispy smoke plumes emerge out of the ground and form into the shape of like a giant centipede, about
Sick.
the size of a horse.
The size of a horse.
But it's like ethereal and wispy, and it's an illusion, so it kind of like shimmers. It's hard to make out the form. And then
Is it
maybe
slightly
like the-
translucent as well?
Maybe it's like the to fit with the size thing. Maybe like it kind of like its main body kind of like emerges from like somewhere that's like kind of nowhere.
Yeah. And also like as I go to get on it, it like sort of turns into a giant spider, and I start running, and it like turns into like a mole, and then it's like as I'm running, it just changes into whatever animal suits the terrain best.
Oh, that's cool. That's really dope.
Like, if I have to go through like a narrow gap, it like turns into like.
That's
Wow.
kind of like legs like grow out as it like goes faster as
There's
it's
like
flying.
going through trees, and there's like spider legs, and I run through the trees and shit.
Yeah, sick.
That's cool. Yeah.
Just because I have malleable illusions, so I can change the form of any illusion spell. Illusion spells, so it's like
that's
not just
good.
adding this, I can actually do that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
sick.
That's really cool. Yeah, nice. That's actually quite useful, just from like when we do our little illusion-y roleplay combats, to have a malleable steed. Like, scare people and shit.
Yeah. Well, I've got a bunch of like normal illusion spells that are also malleable.
Yeah.
So I can like make a woman feel nice and it turns to a dragon.
Oh, yeah. That's the dream.
If you're a non-evil dragon.
It's kind of weird they just gloss over the fact he's like a full-on just like rape victim. Like the dragon just like doesn't let him leave and then fucks the shit out of him. Like,
I mean, they are like married in the next film.
yeah, but I don't think he had much choice.
But even by the end of the first one.
Are you implying you can't rape someone you're married to?
No.
No, not at all.
Let's move past this.
Trust me, you can.
I just mean by the end of even the first film.
No, they
he's
do
like,
fall in love.
honey, and he like,
Yeah.
let me go. Please kill me.
No, initially she grabs him and she like goes to kiss him and he's like, no!
Because he thinks he's about to
Get kissed.
eat him.
And she's going,
No. It's only after she kisses that he's like, oh.
no.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know, because she kisses Shrek's ass for the first time by accident.
That's my favourite scene.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Let's go.
Am I alright to just do a bit of herbalism while we're traveling?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Okay, I'll just do it in the background.
Sorry, I just want to see it. Oh, whatever. You find that the next after the remaining day of travel, when it gets to the evening time, you begin to feel a bit of a light. A light drizzle begin, and as the night progresses and into the following day, there's just this kind of not heavy downpour, but just kind of constant rain, which is just causing all of your clothing to get damp, and it's a bit unpleasant. Or you might like it. It's up to you as a character. But yes, and then you find that it becomes slightly more frustrating as you begin approaching the Kondanak after a couple of days, because that area begins to get a bit more marshy. Not insanely so to begin with, but after a while you do find that every once in a while you kind of stick your foot into a wetter, mossier patch of
Would you consider this still to be grasslands or not? Is it changing
Well,
slightly?
is there an option for marshland?
Oh no, I'm not in terms of herbalism. I'm just on about
Natural Explorer?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, what the options are.
I would.
Swamp.
There's swamp, yeah, there's swamps in there. So
maybe it
I
is,
would I would say that we're now in swamp terrain, yeah. Oh, nice. And you spend the final day. By the way, is there anything that anybody's doing or wanting to say or do in this area?
In the swamp.
Yeah, it's not a full-on swamp. It's just like
Marshy.
Wet, marshy land.
Are there dry bits through the marshes?
Yeah. There's places where you've been able to set up and stuff like that.
Okay,
and
cool.
there's also it's not yet completely flat.
There is a
but
swamp
it's
area
relatively bit.
for this,
Okay,
to be fair.
Nice. But what you can see is as you approach the Kondanak, you can see on the other side of it, you can see it becomes a lot more marshy and swampy. You can see these really extensive reed beds and rushes growing. There's this sort of lingering, kind of earthy, just swampy stench. And as you begin to get closer and closer to the Kondanak, you begin to hear the croaking and creaking of different insects and frogs and little beasts. It's up to you as a character whether you enjoy this. This might be your first time seeing a swamp.
Probably feels quite like home.
Yeah. I guess you probably will have come across mini swamps in areas, but the first time seeing it
grassy,
expansive.
big tall
Yeah.
and shit. I would have had moss damp areas of mud and shit. But
Yeah. After why don't you guys give me someone give me a survival check to see if you can locate the place you're looking for, or maybe one person give me a survival, one person give me a perception. Both with the advantage.
Which one do you want to do?
I've got +3 perception, 0 survival.
I got +5 perception.
I'll do perception. You do survival.
Have you got +3 perception?
No, you're way better at survival than me.
Oh,
Okay.
Efficient.
Yeah.
Okay.
You do survival as the
Okay,
ranger,
cool.
and I'll do perception as the perceptive one.
Cool. Nat 20
Oh, let's go, baby.
for the survival.
That's
Not the perception.
Interesting. Okay.
I got a 10 for the perception.
Okay. So
Are we doing it with advantage because we're working together or not? Or is it because we're doing two separate ones?
Yeah, I did say advantage initially, but I guess you got 20, so yeah.
19.
Okay, nice. Don't get much better than this. Okay, so you find that after searching around for a while, you are able to find these clear tracks, and with the good roll, and given that you will have encountered these tracks before, these undeniably belong to gnolls.
Knowles. Okay. Go on.
We know what gnolls are.
I think you may have encountered gnolls before.
In the caverns? Is that what the drow were with?
No.
No, it's something else.
What
I
is
will
a gnoll?
describe gnolls to you, and you can say what you wish. Gnolls are. I'll tell you what. Why don't you give me? There's definitely a baseline that you definitely know about because you will have encountered them in the Nunbeck Fields for sure. But why don't you give me a history?
Me, because I've...
Yeah.
In nature? I was thinking quadrant.
No, not for these guys. Oh, Quadrats, yeah, fair.
What do you want? A nature? Oh, wait, a history? Or a nature, sorry.
Give me a history.
History. Oh, mate, I rolled a fucking 6.
Okay. Is that on 9?
No, it's a 6.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Can the players are not?
I doubt it.
Don't think so.
Oh, actually, no,
I
I'll do
know
that.
the D&D thing, no, but I've never looked
They're
at it.
pretty famous critters. And I feel like I have had you guys encounter them at some point somewhere. Anyway,
Okay, well, I did 13 because we did it with advantage.
what did you do with advantage?
Because I thought we were doing these checks with advantage, you said.
Oh no, this is just this for
Like
this
a
one,
knowledge thing.
Yeah, it's just your internal, just to see what I'm going to tell you basically. But yeah, so basically your encounters with gnolls are that they're these, they're essentially like humanoid hyenas, and they are completely unreasonable. All they experience is hunger. All they want to do is eat and destroy and kill.
What sort are they? Are they a similar size to Dorwin, or are they a similar size?
They're
to me?
they're like a human-sized creature. They're quite stocky, and yeah, they've got their faces of hyenas. They're often with other hyenas, which you've seen. They do these like bizarre rituals.
Okay.
Would we know what they look like? Could we look them up?
You would definitely know what they look like.
So if I know what they look like, I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace on all of us.
Hang on, you don't know what's going on yet.
I know.
All right.
I cast Pass Without Trace on all of us, and then I also I use my Boots of False Tracks to then leave one path of gnoll footprints as we go.
What's that mean?
Fair.
How, like, what's the limitations on that?
What?
On the shoes?
They've got to be humanoid.
But, like, can he go for as long as he wants? How long?
Only humanoids can wear these boots. While wearing the
They're just there
boots,
indefinitely.
tracks.
you can
Yeah,
choose to
there
leave
is
tracks.
So they
Doesn't have a
they
time
would,
on
they
it.
would
It's not
fade.
like a magical thing that's changed his tracks visually to the people looking at it.
No,
No,
it's like a
physically
physical-
changes the
yeah,
track.
Yeah. So it is a track,
Right.
but it just looks like a different
So
one.
I imagine the soul of the shoe
Yeah,
changes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Okay, yeah, nice.
So I've cast Pass Without Trace as well. Just like obviously I'm only doing it for flavour, but I want to make sure that we're not fucking.
I fucking love it when you do that, Ali.
What?
Oh, it's just so, it's so dank. Because it means I roll like 40 on myself.
So as you how long does Pass Without Trace last?
It lasts for 1 hour.
Okay. So you find during that hour, you manage to search around an area, and you are following these tracks at various places. Then you find that you lose them, even though you were very sure that you were following them. They just kind of
Even with a
fade,
nat 20.
even with the nat 20.
Okay.
And as you continue to travel around and follow these various tracks, which you think are leading you down one path, they eventually get lost again. And with that, I'm going to just say as part of the solid nat 20, is you eventually are able to determine that each of these tracks kind of fade away in your mind, like just planning out where you've been. It seems like there's a sort of area where the tracks are not continuing into, and initially it was quite confusing.
Sort of like a ring.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically. And so you're able to sort of determine that there's some sort of charm going on, something not natural.
Well,
And I portray this information to the group.
Okay.
what should we do then? Should we try and go into this area?
Could anybody, maybe we venture a few meters in and maybe cast some kind of magical detection, see if there's any.
We could do that outside.
Can you do outside?
Probably.
Do you not just pass into it first?
Probably not.
No.
To detect magic.
Wait, into what, sorry?
There's an area where all of the tracks
Oh,
are.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine detect magic. You can see things.
a range on it.
I don't have it.
Enoch just picks up a rock
Is it not?
and just lobs it through the area and sees what happens.
Sure. I mean, you guys
Battled a
would
dragon, and now you are cocky, even more than you were before.
I would say you would have found already that you are like have been able to walk like in the area and stuff like that. Like it's not. Like when you're following the tracks, you'd continue to. Be like,
So it's not a case that like they've circled round it to then try and like. So this okay.
No, it's more like
In that
a sort
case,
of non-detection
I start
thing.
juggling.
Start throwing rocks everywhere.
I swear one of us had detect magic.
You did.
I thought you had it.
Oh no, Elixir did.
No,
Elixir
because
definitely. The hag skull things, you did not detect
Oh,
magic,
yeah.
and there
Yeah,
was
that's
no
true.
revealing a glow.
Have I unreadied it or something? Yeah, there it is. I don't have it readied.
Okay, sure. Okay. So yeah.
Rudy doesn't have it. Do we know?
I
She
don't have
does.
access to her sheet.
She will have access to detect magic.
Why not?
I think she will do.
I had it when I was a druid.
Oh, then she'll have it too.
No, fair.
I think I'm pretty sure I did.
It's a fairly druidy spell.
Yeah, fair.
I will say that you continue to look around for a little while, and about 10.
Hers is private.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Maybe I can look at it.
probably.
Either way. Oh yeah. So before we're trying to figure out this thing first before I say
I mean,
things.
I assume we're going to see a glow of hiding magic.
Yeah, So, all right. I'll just continue. Fuck it. She's not here. Whatever. Al, you find that
Just rolled an nat 20 on making a potion as well.
Ooh, what does that mean?
I don't know. I'm probably just gonna make it twice as powerful.
I think that's what we did last time, isn't it?
Yeah.
What potion?
A poison potion.
Always. Very handy.
Very good. Very nice.
Poison potion.
A poison. Poison.
potion of battle for foil.
And it also it's one where the target doesn't notice they're poisoned for 5 rounds.
Oh, that's the you made that before.
I made another one before, yeah, but this one's better.
Nice.
Nice.
Do you tell the group what you've made?
I do, and I
We'll say this was like a day ago, maybe on the journey.
yeah, because obviously I didn't want to get in the way of you going through the story and shit. And when I've made it, I'm fucking loaded with potions now. Like they hang off my fucking belt. They're all different colours, and I have a moment of like marveling in this like especially like luminous fucking poison, and
Colour is
And
it?
I'd say maybe like as you're like marveling at it and like reveling over it, you see like next to you like there's just a full bowl of stew that you've just like ignored.
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
been, like so focused on this.
and like Dragos comes over and he starts sniffing at it, and I have to quickly push him away because I don't want him to like get poisoned. And I present it to Enoch and I say, brandish this on Frostbrand.
I say, it sure is shiny. What colour is it? It's got a luminosity to it.
It's let's say it's like a greeny, like a bright green with like a iridescent sort of yellow as well. So the two from different angles it'll sort of slightly be different colours, and it's got a few bubbles like coming up from the.
Oh,
so
like,
it's proper fucking punchy.
Volatile.
Yeah.
Waste.
Nat 20, baby.
And is it in a clear glass?
It's in a little vial.
Little tiny one like that.
Little
Okay.
vial. It's only single use.
Yeah. And okay, cool. And I say, not that I've ever used this before, but a little birdie tells me this is some pretty potent poison, Gesh. How did you make this?
Those are my secrets that maybe one day I will share with you. Why not drink it?
I see. Well, thanks a lot, you prick. and I pocket it. Regardless of your delightful demeanour, Gesh, you're a fine craftsman, and I thank you.
So, put it in your notes.
Yep. What is it?
So you need...
How do I call it? A custom item?
I just call it potent poison or lingering. Or we can come up with a groovy name for it if you like.
Yeah. Okay. Insidious.
Insidious
silence.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling.
That's
it.
what we. Yeah. I think we called the other one insidious. But yeah, and that's. Yeah. Well, the other one's exactly the same. So yeah. So it's just read that. It's 2d. It's 2d4 plus 6.
Okay.
Well, this one might be 2d6. Let me just check.
It's pretty fat, to be fair, mate.
So many fucking D6s.
No.
You need to get a nap for maximum D6s.
No, it's a d4. So it's 2d4. So
No, I'm not putting it in. It's not D6. Add custom item. Silence. Okay. Nice. And then what is it?
So it is 2d6, 2d4. Sorry, 2d4 plus 6.
Plus 6.
And then
Poison damage.
Poison damage. Target doesn't notice for 5 rounds.
Is that doubled? Because you got
That because it's 1d4 plus 6.
Oh,
Yeah,
surely
that's
it's
already on the last one as well.
1d4.
No,
plus
I doubled up the
2d4.
ingredients.
Wait,
for
if
the
it's
last
1d4 plus 6, then it will be 2d4 plus 12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's fucking. Yeah, do you want to do that? Okay.
God, that's 20, mate.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Fucking
Shouldn't
hell.
yours be the same?
No, because the one I did before, I just did with 2 ingredients instead of getting a nat 20.
Yeah. So it's double poison.
I mean, I could.
Alrighty then.
Okay, fine.
Makes sense.
Fucking OP as
Double
fuck.
the poison.
Okay, so I'm going to say that as you.
Sorry, does poison damage lingering as well? Like it. Remind me how. It works.
So I would have them. If it just says poison damage, then no. But if they have to make a save of some kind and they fail it, then they will be poisoned, which will it's like a condition.
So it says a poison for a minute.
Okay, yeah. So then they will be poisoned, which basically means disadvantage and everything. Yeah.
Okay. So they
And
don't
also,
notice for 4.
does that have any specifics around how the poison stays on the blade? If it doesn't specify, I'll say you can do 3 attacks basically with it, just because.
What? Okay.
Just because traditionally the way the poison works in the game is that you put it on a weapon and it essentially lasts for a minute. But I think it might be a bit OP for this, so I'll say it does 3 attacks, which is still pretty solid.
Okay, but the poison itself will last for a minute, but you can have it do the.
Oh yeah.
You can have it do the damage 3 times. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. What I will say as well though is if you put the poison on and then keep the weapon sheathed, then it will stay on until it's.
I remember you saying about that. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
So you can, so you've just got 3 uses out of it, and it lasts for a minute each time. So note that shit down.
I wonder what it'd be like when it freezes onto Frostbrand.
Oh, yeah.
Frozen poison.
How's that gonna look?
So I draw
Shards of
Frostbrand.
poison shattering into people.
So I draw Frostbrand and I lay the poison along the flat of the blade, and you see.
Hang on, you sure you want to put it on now?
You said it stays forever if it's sheathed.
Yeah, but what if the next enemy you attack is just like a ladybird or something?
Oh, right, yeah, fine. Well, yeah, okay.
I'll just read some of the names of the pre-built poisons. Pretty sick. There's Assassin's Blood, Crawler Mucus, Essence of Ether, Malice, Midnight Tears, Purple Worm Poison, Serpent Venom, Winding Poison.
We've got to up our game with names, haven't we? Insidious poison's pretty good.
Insidious Silence. I think Insidious Silence is dope.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
So Gesh, you
Midnight
begin
Tears.
to feel your grasp on Pass Without Trace begin to slip as the allotted time that it stays for begins to dissipate somewhat. I just wanted to let you know before the next thing, basically.
You're all
Cast it again.
And And you can, so you begin to feel that begin to fade, and as you do start to feel it fade, you notice a small bird come flittering down, and it kind of circles around you guys for a minute before fluttering down and resting on your pauldron. And while it's there, you see it kind of like, it's just a little sort of blue tip, and it kind of cocks its head and looks between you and just says, after a moment or two, you just hear, "My ally, Dofir, wishes to speak to you. I suppose we should head with most haste. Now, follow me." And the bird just flitters off your shoulder and begins flying around and circling around whenever you delay. So, do you want to follow it?
What say you, Polana?
I don't know. What do we want to do?
This.
Have you ever met a Dothir before, Polana?
A Doth is a name.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I'm not from this world.
Oh yeah, he goes down the pub.
Well, why did the blue tit land on your?
Because I'm a leaf. I've got leafy.
Ah, that makes sense. I thought the bird was like specifically coming to you and like being like.
No, it addressed.
Oh, it addressed everyone.
Yeah. What would we like to do? Can we talk to them? Are they still within? Can they hear us?
Yeah. So it's like flitting around.
Sorry, who are you?
Throw the
Who is
fire
this
poison.
master?
I don't really have a name. As for Dofir, he's a druid. He has always cared for the Nundic Fields. He sensed your coming to these lands before you disappeared for a time. But since your return, he has news to share.
Dofir.
I'm gonna.
You say.
You're like, ooh, I'm actually allergic to druids.
Oh, he's a druid.
This doesn't do anything for me, does it?
What?
I
don't know, man. You
as an action, I can detect good and evil, but then it goes further into it. Yeah, the presence of strong evil registers on my senses.
Is that not just Fey and Fiend though?
Dofir, you say? We could have surely used him and used his aid in the Battle of Kulen Kress.
Maybe.
That was a bit open-ended, wasn't it?
And so, I think what my friend Gesh is trying to say is, where was he?
That's
Well put.
something you can ask him. I'm not too sure. He's probably just having some tea or something, I imagine.
And how do we know that we aren't being led into a trap here?
No, I guess you don't.
Fair enough.
All right.
Onwards.
Good day. Good day to you.
Farewell.
Okay, I guess. Should we follow? Just. Yeah. You've got to do all of this speaking like that.
Yeah,
Just be.
I'm tempted.
Keep an eye behind and around us.
Yeah.
Let's give it a go.
Okay. So the little bird flitters round to this sort of leads you along round through this sort of like swampy area and down towards this sort of area of shrubbery which has kind of grown in a sort of fairly natural way, and the bird kind of like flitters through it, and you see there is like a bit of a path but you sort of got to crouch down to get through. It's alright for the little ones. And you kind of follow through this like quite dense scrub, and you open up into this this clearing where you see this man with blue skin and a slightly red tint to his nose. He's got these long pointed ears, and he's got this scruffy brown hair, and he's wearing these kind of brown leathery robes. And he's got a large gnarled wooden staff in one hand, and you see he's just gesturing into the air with the other. And he looks over and he says, "Oh, greetings! You come in. Have a seat." And with that, the staff kind of like sinks into the ground just for a little bit, and you see these kind of like wooden branchy chairs just kind of like grow out of the ground around him. He says, welcome. This is one of my sanctuaries, and we have much to discuss. Yeah.
You know of us already?
Says, I've been watching you for some time around the Nundek Fields, and I feel I've got a decent picture of the sort of people that you are.
I'm getting sort of Tom Bombadil kind of vibes.
Slash Radagast.
Yeah. And how do we know who you are? You say you've been watching us for some time now.
Indeed, I am a druid, a protector of the nature of these lands, and now I expect I should be. Well, I need a little help. You see, there is a dark presence here, dark indeed, and well, I'm not sure I have the strength to solve it on my own.
Forgive my caution, but how are we to know that you are not the dark presence here?
Why would I admit to being a dark presence that I'm trying to stop?
I think he'd have made his move by now, Gesh.
By the way, he looks like this.
Oh, he's a friend.
He's a dark lord of Satan.
Is he a Ganoon?
No, he's something else. That
Have you never seen him before?
probably none of you would have seen. I don't think. Let me see what they.
Can we just ask him?
Yeah, sure, but I'm just wondering what I.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out if any of you would already know. The only potential option, you three could have come across one if you'd give me a nature check, each of you. That one. Right.
18.
Sure.
What's
you
9
didn't,
plus
you
10?
didn't even notice it was a different race.
You look very familiar.
Are you a cow?
I didn't know pigs could talk.
We slaughtered one that looked just like you.
As soon as he leaves grasslands, just all his like knowledge gets shit. Like, what the fuck?
Kept on like falling in puddles on the way through the wetlands.
He is twins.
Dragos, come here, I need to fly on you.
So you got an 18, you got a 21. Okay, I'd say you maybe heard of them, but haven't come across one. And you... Yeah. Well, maybe you might have met one, to be fair. Maybe on your travel. No, you could have just bumped into one with a 21. Either way, so furbolgs are these... they're technically giant kin. Yeah, they're called furbolgs. They're generally quite naturey inclined. It's not uncommon for them to eventually become druids.
Are they kind of similar to what Shaka was?
No, so Shaka would be like the equivalent of like
There's so many fucking
would be more like
monsters in D&D.
would be more like a barbarian sort of thing, like a warrior. And these guys are smaller. Typically, they can get pretty big, but Dofir here is maybe like 8 feet tall or so.
So would Dorwin sort of know like what his mannerisms and stuff are like then and shit like that, and generally his general sort of characteristics as a species?
He might know a bit. He might know that they are, and to be fair, you will probably know this too, that they're quite isolationist. They tend to keep themselves to themselves. They just like to be in their forests and they like things to be peaceful. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, Palana, to you, this is no more unusual than anything else at the moment. And yeah, for you, this is you've never come across or heard of this thing, and it surprises you because you know these are your lands in a way. He says, yes. So my friend here tells me that your journey up here was instigated by somebody who had suffered great misfortune at the hands of this dark presence.
indeed. Our party ran into a young lady by the name of Holly. She'd been captured and tortured by these creatures for many months. We were able to reunite her with her family, although we couldn't get out of her how she managed to escape or whether she was let go.
For you to know this, you must have been following us pretty strictly. Can I ask why you have such interest in our party?
Oh, I like to have my little friends exploring every nook and cranny of the Nundek Fields, particularly those with the power to change it in ways I may not be able to foresee, people such as yourselves.
Indeed, this is an area that I myself consider familiar, and to come across you, knowing a lot about me, is rather alarming. I do not recognize your kind at all.
He says, I am not surprised. I am particularly secretive even for my race. I am a Furbolg. My name is Tafir. As for your names, I have not been able to learn them myself. Would you be so kind as to introduce yourselves?
Polana kind of steps forwards and does the formal kind of curtsy and just introduces herself, gives a title.
Mm-hmm.
Enoch makes a flourishing bow and says, Enoch Inokenti, clan Inokenti, Squall's End.
And I myself am Gesh Gragnor from the Scales, but now live in the Nundek Fields.
And I'm Dorwin, Deephold, a stranger to these lands.
He says, wow. Well, if we did not have such pressing matters to attend to, I should very much like to hear each and every one of your stories. Such an unique origins for each of you. But nonetheless, that poor girl, I was only just able to free her, just barely. But it was at great cost to my willpower and strength. I'm sure you may have figured out that there is some sort of enchantment place preventing crossing into this central area of this side of the Kondanak. Now, this is most alarming, for in the center of this area there is an ancient druidic circle of standing stones. We've been using them for prayer and meetings for ever such a long time, and I fear that this dark presence may have evaded me here for far longer than I first knew, which means that their strength must have grown.
Well, we are here to liberate young Holly, so we will assist in any way we can.
Do you know anything of this dark presence? Do you know what it is?
He says, I tried to reach within, and I was met with the pain of your friend Holly. I'm not quite sure how, but through the powers of the nature spirits, I was able to release Holly from her bindings, and she was somehow able to leave. All that I know is what lies within are gnolls, summoned from the dark depths of Yinogu. Now, I believe that I can potentially dispel this enchantment for a time, and up until now I have been trying to assess a way in which I could, in a way that I could subjugate the dark force, but I believe my strength may be too weak. However, between us, or between you could travel in. I have sensed your power. You could shut down this dark presence before it wreaks havoc on these lands. Gnolls won't hesitate to destroy everything they come across, everything that's precious to me and to you.
How are we to dispel this darkness?
He says, well, this is where I may be asking you to take a risk. I know that I will be able to
disrupt the enchantment for some time, but I'm not sure how long it will be before my strength regains enough to open it again. You run risk of being trapped within this area for at least until you're able to dispel whatever's inside.
And where is this area? Is it in another realm, like Polana's from, or is it just behind a curtain in this world?
I would say it is much closer to the latter. A curtain is a good way of thinking of it. It's simply a veil cast over these lands. The magic is curious. I have not meddled with dark magic much in my history, but I know what it may be similar to.
Well, if you are able to expose this evil, we will surely do our best to deal with it.
Very well. If you are ready, shall we begin?
After you.
And you see he kind of like turns and walks with quite like a powerful stride, really. And as he makes steps, you see that the shrubbery that has grown kind of just like forms around him and makes a little path, which you guys are able to follow through, and it just kind of closes up behind you as well. And after a minute, you get to the area where Gash and maybe some of the more perceptive, you can very clearly see like various tracks which have kind of stopped where Knowles must have left the area and come back, maybe, or been allowed back in or something, or have maybe come in the first place. And he says, "Right, I shall begin." And you see he begins making all these like druidic incantations in.
Sorry, is it taking us back to the original area where we found all the tracks circling?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been too far away really, because he set up his little sanctuary nearby. And after a moment, you see the air in front of you begins to kind of wobble, like heat coming off like hot air coming off a warm surface. And before long, those heat kind of waves begin to kind of fall into one another and form this sort of silvery line, which begins to crack open and split. And as it does, you can see the same sort of terrain and world that you're already in, but on the other side, all of the trees and scrubs are kind of stripped of their leaves and are dead and decaying. The grass is kind of all matted and overgrown and kind of like this horrible network of vegetation.
So that was there, but he's like exposed the illusion that was hiding it, basically.
Yeah.
How big is this area?
So the whole area that like you were able to figure out is probably about 2 kilometers in diameter.
Oh, okay.
And when he cracks it open, you can immediately hear this like the yipping and laughing of hyenas from the other side of the veil. And he says,
Now's our opportunity. I'll be waiting for you on the outside. Good luck, adventurers.
with that you just leave.
Anyone else have second thoughts?
Holly's home now. She's surely safe.
I think they've learnt their lesson.
However, the cackle of these hyenas does surely boil my blood, knowing that an innocent lady has suffered at their hand.
I agree. After the Battle of Kulen Kress, we will surely prevail. There's nothing that can stand in our way. And I slap Gesh on the shoulder. What say we have some sport hunting, Gesh?
Do not get cocky. Go on.
I was just going to describe to you that so a lot of your experience with gnolls is that they come up from the south and they just.
Do you mean from underground or
no,
literally?
from the south?
Well, we've just been at Kulen Kress, which is to the south.
What? No, I'm saying gnolls come from the south of the world. Yeah. Eh?
They like look at a map and they'll go, "We'll go this way."
Yeah. Well, no, they can come from other places too. They just typically come from the south, and basically whenever they head up, they just like they come in like packs and just cause quite loads of destruction. Basically, you've like as a ranger will go out and fuck them up basically and try and stop them from fucking around help out the.
Have I overcome like several then? Like
You fought gnolls in the past.
Okay.
You will have maybe in the past encountered certain war bands which would have individuals which were maybe a bit too much for you. But you will have also encountered smaller bands which just have a couple of gnolls in it and are fine.
Maybe I will accept your offer of some sport then, Enoch. Step forth. Let's deal with this vermin.
What's the sport?
What? Oh,
I thought you would have put some like money on
yeah.
exactly, yeah.
So,
You maybe like
most.
step through the dudes like.
Oh, yeah.
He's just there like shaking and we're like,
That's right.
oh, what are we going to bet, mate?
As we like meander through, like we go like, so what do you want to wager, Gesh?
I'm happy for the sport itself, but no doubt you will want some money.
I think money is something that is easily acquired. I think a favour is all I ask of you, Gesh.
100 platinum it is then.
I would rather pay a lot of money rather than owe a favour to Enoch.
Exactly why I said that.
Yeah, you find that the moment you kind of step across this border, the moment you step across this border, you immediately feel this this kind of chaotic element to the air. You can feel like there's a little bit of sort of madness tickling the edges of your minds. Around you, you kind of will see these kind of it's almost like flashes of skeletal hyenas kind of running between bits of vegetation and yipping as they do in this very dark, just grey black atmosphere.
I was going to say, as the light changed.
Yeah. It's literally like you've stepped through and it's like almost nighttime. It's so dreary.
Hey Google, make the lights black.
Can we, as we step through as well, can we still see Defeer?
Once you step through, no, you can't.
Okay.
Was there like, could we kind of still see a portal and it like collapses in?
Yeah, basically, yeah. As you step through, it kind of like, yeah, exactly that. Okay. And as you begin making your way towards the centre of this area, you can kind of hear this.
I'm Mount Dragos.
Oh sure, yeah. You in amongst the occasional like snickering laugh of a hyena, you occasionally hear the cackle of a hag's laugh as well.
Oh.
Kind of rippling through. It kind of like cracks through the air more so than the knolls.
Can we sense a general direction of the hag, or is it just kind of coming from all over?
You can actually sense the general direction, and it's coming from essentially what you can envision as like the centre of the area. Yeah.
Are you saying it's about 2k sort of diameter? Yeah. Okay, so to the centre that's like, well, yeah, obviously a kilometre. No, I'm just thinking about.
Fucking hell, Stephen Hawkins.
Slow down, Ali. I need to calculate.
It's not my fault that you're all fucking stupid. Okay.
By the way, we'll just timing wise, we won't finish a whole big fight tonight.
No. Yeah, I'm probably just going to go at 11ish.
Yeah, cool.
I probably would suggest to call it around that time anyway. Yeah.
Most no heads.
Wins.
Do you have to chop off the heads and carry them with you? That's fucking effort. Beyond.
It's just going to be like.
Well, okay, fine. All right.
It's fully just going to be like Legolas Gimli vibes, isn't it?
If Gesh trusts, if Gesh trusts Enoch to say how many he killed.
Yeah.
You'll be in visual proximity.
At all times, Gesh is just monitoring me. That only goes to my advantage because he's going to be focused on me instead of the kill. Although with your sharpshooter, you could probably be looking at me and just.
I say, whoever returns at the end of the fight with the most eyeballs will be the winner.
You're fucking clapped, mate. If you think I'm gonna get these gloves dirty with fucking hyena eyes.
100 platinum to me it is then. You might as well hand it over now, young man.
As you say that,
You're 7 years old.
13.
And I take off my glove and just playfully slap him around the face. I jump up.
Oh, I'm 30 feet in the air.
As you guys are in the middle of like having
Fire
this,
a mind spike at you.
as you guys are
We're
kind of
conversing via my psychic mind.
Oh, okay, fine. As you guys are kind of having this discussion, you see like just suddenly, just as a theatre of mind thing, this knoll just basically comes bursting out of the long grass, just snarling, and it's just basically like sprinting on all fours towards you. And can one of you two, you don't have to do initiative for this, can one of you two, can both of you give me a perception check, please?
I don't see anything.
I probably don't see anything. 11.
A perception.
Yeah.
15.
Okay, nice. So what was yours?
11.
11 and 15. Okay, so as it comes like rushing out of the bushes, basically, Enoch, you just turn and spin one of your cards straight at it, and it just like kind of arcs round and just wedges it, the card wedges straight between its eyes, and it just falls down limp.
Yeah.
So
that's just my calling card as well. That's what the card is. It's purely a flourish. I've like reached inside its mind and just with a mind lance just severed its spinal cord and then just flicked a card out and it just attaches in as just as a mark of like that's how I tag my victims for the tallies.
So that's a 1-0 to James.
There you go. That was quite good as well because our perception's like quite an even level too.
Yeah, so just for those, you all would have seen it by the way, so I'm sure you would all.
Also, in terms of like, obviously it's gone darker, but in terms of like actual mechanical,
Oh shit, okay, that's cool.
like in terms of the mechanics, is it a case of now like I would have to put my dark vision goggles on, or would it be just like twilight?
No, so I would say it's dim light. So it would be worth having your goggles on. Because in dim light, your passive perception is reduced by 5.
Okay, cool. I actually don't have.
I'm not that being.
Yeah, so it makes sense if you didn't have the goggles on that I saw it first.
Yeah. Do you have dark vision? Nice. Yes. So as you continue to make your way further into the centre, you have like 1 or 2 more encounters of kind of being attacked by these gnolls, which you're pretty easily able to dispatch. And you find at one point this creature which has the shape of a gnoll, but it's just basically all bone and just has these kind of strings of old dried skin and flesh kind of strung over the bones, and the mane where the gnoll's hair would have been is kind of just white and all wispy and grey, and it kind of comes clacking towards you, and you find that this one goes down even easier than the others, but it's still nonetheless kind of creepy as it continued to like yip and yammer with this kind of white tongue would flick out of its skulled face, hyena face, and that one looked like this.
Ooh, sick.
Oh.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so that one was easier to kill, but it's kind of gross.
Oh, that was still alive.
Yeah, it was coming at you.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought that was like the remains of one.
Oh no.
After this now having happened, like as soon as I'm within range, I'm like wanting to swing the tally back in my favour. So even when we're like 500 feet away, I'm gonna start fucking popping shots off.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
While I've still got like 5 rounds before he even gets close.
Okay, why don't each of you? I'll tell you what. Why don't each of you just give me both give me 5 d20s and just compare them each time and just see how many points each of you get.
Okay.
What did you get?
3.
11.
Nice. So that's 2-0.
What are things just coming at him basically?
Yeah.
16.
2.
2-1.
14.
19.
2-all.
That 20!
Oh,
That's 2. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then one more.
I
Or
think so.
oh,
Is
yeah,
that
it
4?
would have been 5. Yeah.
17.
I got 4.
Okay, so 5-2.
Fucking
so far.
hell.
Damn. So I would say that the gnolls are largely, at the moment, perhaps the reason why Enoch's getting more points is because they're essentially ambushing, so they're kind of being hidden in like long grass and then coming out. Whereas you're like from above.
You're just like, just like fucking these cards at him.
So 600 feet in
just
meters.
watching and nothing.
Yeah, and like a couple, like as they're like sprinting really obviously at him, like I'm like up high and he's like just getting a card out and I fucking pull my arrow out and shoot it between the eyes.
You just see, obviously maybe not, but I guess I'm just imagining you shout down, "The undead ones count for half."
We can speak through our minds.
Oh, sure, yeah. Okay, yeah, and so after I tell you what, as you begin
No,
to
I
get...
will vocalise that actually because I'm like getting frustrated that I'm losing.
Yeah, sure. So as you get to maybe halfway there, so maybe like 500 meters away, you can see these standing stones in the distance. And at this point, from where the standing stones are, they're quite tall, maybe 40 feet tall or so, kind of like Stonehenge basically. You can see all around it, there's this kind of rabble of movement of all these various gnolls kind of like running off in different directions and just being crazy, and sometimes you can see them in a different distance just like ripping each other apart and digging in. And as you're kind of like looking in this direction as well, you can see all over the standing stones, there's these little swarm of crows which are kind of flying around the place, a little bit like Saruman's spies. While you're kind of looking over there, in the centre of the Stonehenge, you can see this kind of this radiating dark energy which comes from this almost like a singularity point, and from within that you can hear this low roaring which is just like coming out of the singularity in the centre, which is wrapped in shadow. As you're taking this in, you suddenly find yourself just being dogpiled basically by a group of gnolls.
Has everyone seen Gesh like flying the dragon?
So
is that essentially why we're getting ambushed? Because there's a dragon flying over there?
No. In fact, you're kind of like, I would say that the whole the gnolls themselves are like very much not
like rabid?
really looking
Oh, I see.
around and stuff. They're not like actively going for you. It's just occasionally like these rogue ones that are just like a bit mental and just going for it. But they very much seem centered around this Stonehenge. Yeah, like they're not really wanting to leave that area. But yeah, you can see there's a number of different. The gnolls are carrying different weapons and all these.
One of the fangs to cool it down from rolling the dice once.
Basically. Whoa, slow down, Jesus.
But yeah, so initially there's maybe like 15 or so gnolls all coming at you from different directions, and then once you kind of engage with them, you suddenly see like more of these kind of hazy, almost like cataracty eyes just emerging from the undergrowth as well, and as more and more begin to appear around you. And I guess we'll pause there, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
sound.
next session we'll kick off with a
Yeah, good shit.
with a big
So it's
scrap.
5-2 at the moment.
Yeah, keep a note.
That's all I need to know.
I'll keep a note of it.
God. Didn't realise Guess was such a sore laser. To be fair, 100 plat is quite a lot.
Yeah. It's 1,000 gold.
For Gesh.
Forget. Yeah, St. David's Day today, wouldn't it?
What does that mean?
It's just we just celebrate Saint David, who died in 589 AD.
Oh, okay.
He's the patron of Saint
Legends.
Wales. Killed the dragon.
Ah, did he? Probably should rename St. Enoch's Day.
Yes, because all of Wales is revelling in your.
I mean, because I killed the dragon. I didn't even kill the dragon, I killed the human.
Is St. David in Harry Potter? Because they've got like a bunch. That's one of the things I've learned about Legacy is like all like Merlin time. There were loads of like wizard knights and shit. So I'm wondering if he's in Harry Potter.
That's not too nice.
Yeah.